going to answer them relatively passively, but you are here. All caps it if you want it to catch my attention, and my whole chat's going to be all caps now. But I'm gonna let her
Nice.
give an intro to her audience, and then we will answer questions and hang out
Perfect.
here.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, I'm live on my side too. We're with Only Cops, and he's also streaming. Thank you so much for being here. Hi everyone. Welcome in. This is part 2. We just could not get enough of Josh here at Only Cops, so I appreciate you willing to, I don't know, have another conversation. I have a
Right.
whole new list of questions.
I really liked one of the things. It was a big takeaway. I actually talked about this on my stream. This was probably a week after we did it. I kind of went through the comment section, especially after you released like the shortened version
Mhm.
of it. Almost universally, and there's a lot of psychology to this actually. The biggest I wasn't surprised, but it was the biggest like common thread that I saw was everyone that was like shocked at how desensitized we were for police misconduct versus them. And I
Mm,
think that that's like it's a good thing. Is what I kind of try to tell people. I was like, it's a good thing
yeah,
that you have not experienced police misconduct in your life, or that like your social media feed, because it is reflective of who you are as a person and what you like engaging with. Your
sure.
audience more consistently doesn't see it, if it makes sense, which is a good thing. That's a testament to you and the stuff that you're putting out. It's probably like
Yeah.
crunchy moms doing sourdough bread and like wonderful, positive, like it's the like good
Something
human
like that.
stuff. But I'm saying it's like the people that are rescuing animals, the people that
Mm,
are doing well within their society, like good, regardless of their affiliations with other stuff, right? They're like, hey, there's a moral good in this world. We want to push for that. A lot of the people that end up on my side of the fence are the people seeing police misconduct very, very commonly, right? Or like when it happens, it happens on their feed, right?
yeah,
Um,
sure. I like a bit of both. I think it's good to
you
see some
should,
some
yeah,
good going on in the
yeah,
world as well as some things that could very much be improved in the world.
right.
Yeah,
But
but I
that was the
understand that.
Yeah, because I remember it was the question. It was on a scale from 1 to 10, like how bad was the reckless Ben situation from like a misconduct standpoint?
Right, and a lot of people in my comments were like, "I would
Mega
rank that a
offended.
lot higher." And it's like, I understand because yeah, if
Yeah,
you don't see it too often, yeah,
and,
it's pretty fucked up to be honest. So,
and and I am not mad that they see it as a 6, to be honest, or at 8 or whatever it is. Like that's a good thing because you're trying to hold your government, like you're paying for it, right? You're
sure.
entitled to have a strong opinion on the service that you're paying for. I mean, essentially, right? And that they have a high moral threshold for conduct. Like
Yeah.
they're the same people that would call out somebody that's sexually harassing somebody at work. They're the same people that would, not just walk by the homeless kid and try to make sure they're actually doing okay.
Yeah.
Um, I think
Sure.
that my audience in general, and I'm going to be a side effect of that as well, is like we get pretty desensitized. Like it is a thing that we have to actively check on ourselves. Like, hey, this is not normal. Like, you
Yeah,
know what I
like
mean?
a
Like these are
reminder that this is not
right,
okay, no matter how
right,
many
right.
times you see it. Yeah.
Yeah, and even calling out like we there's things that piss me off that wouldn't upset other people about police misconduct, or they won't even see it as misconduct. Where I was like, that's a very clear violation of XYZ constitutional right? Whether it's the Fourth, the Fifth, or the First Amendment,
Hmm.
and it's just because they can't know. They don't deal with it every day, and they're not like in those spaces, and so they're things that I would rank way higher
Sure.
on the list because I understand it to be a violation of someone's rights. Or your audience would be like, I didn't even know this was misconduct, and I was like, yeah, you can
Yeah,
politely,
for sure.
you can politely violate people's rights, and I think a lot of people kind of miss that. But that's definitely that was one of the big ones. Red Hood, I still haven't
Yeah.
figured out Jules on YouTube, but he sent me an Unk Alert one, which is hilarious.
Nice. Oh man. Oh, that's true. I should have your chat up as well. I didn't even think about that. But
I'm gonna try to pin him as I see him. If I see something really good, I'll pin it.
yeah, yeah, good call. I have my Twitch chat and YouTube chat on the screen,
Oh,
and
I don't, I don't know
I
how you
don't
do
really
it.
have access to it. Actually, I could
Yeah,
see it, but
you're
anyway, good stuff. We're all
yeah.
learning here. But yeah, okay. So I have a couple of different things that I want to talk
Okay.
about, and I'm really excited to talk about some things actually. I have some questions, like follow-up questions about the reckless Ben situation, of course.
Right.
Like always have questions about that. But then we also have an American Fork city council meeting that I'm actually planning on going to.
Ooh,
And so I wanted to talk about that because I don't know if I should say anything. I know that all people have already been saying things in this city council meeting. So I don't know if
right.
it's necessary. Anyway, so I want to get your advice and just some just chat about that a little bit too. Um
I'm good at that.
yeah, cool. I really appreciate that. Hi everybody. It's so nice to be here. All right, so
What is the BAM map? Somebody's asking me, what do you think about the BAM map?
Bricks and Minifigs
Yeah,
map. I
I
don't know
caught
what map
that's a
that
loaded.
is.
I hope that's not an acronym, but that's that's an
Yeah,
acronym.
what
I have strong.
that? Help. Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Rose, if you could give more specific, question not understood, be more specific. I'm a public school kid. You're gonna have to
Question
dumb
not
it down for
understood.
me.
Instructions
Yeah.
unclear.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, go for it. Go for the question. I'm here for it.
Okay, so first question that I have, just a follow up about the Reckless Ben stuff. So, just really quickly, because me and my chat were talking about how we don't really see cops really apologize very
Right.
often, and so
Yep.
as regarding like the dislocated shoulder situation,
Hmm.
like whether I mean I don't think that that was like. I don't think it was meant or anything. I think that his shoulder was already fucked up. And so when there was just a
Right.
little bit of pull, he accidentally dislocated it again. But you see no kind of remorse or apology from the cop. Is that taught for legal reasons to not apologize for
So
things?
it's not taught, but it's understood. So that there's a really interesting concept here. It's a legal concept for use of force. So there is not a single attorney on the planet. Let's say Heidi is going to go to the store, right? And I jump you and try to kidnap you. Well, you're in Utah, and Utah, you can have guns, and you just say you pull out the big iron and you go and you shoot me. You don't kill me, but you shoot me, right? Well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
on the ground pulling the Ed Griffin, like, ah, I'm on the
Sure.
ground going through it, right?
Yeah.
Um, you're under no legal obligation to medically intervene in my now medical emergency, right?
Yeah.
Cops have to. In Texas, I'm legally obligated to now try to save this person's life. Now, the reason why I have to is because it's the law. It's not because I feel bad. It's not, I am, and they did
Mm-hmm.
this on purpose. It's because they wanted to encourage officers that, like, hey, it could be a crazy situation, right? This guy is trying to kidnap somebody. You shoot this guy, you suck at shooting, so you shoot him in like the calf or something like that. You have an opportunity to save his life. Your job is to take him to court, not to put him in the ground, right? Like you don't want to do that.
Sure.
Savvy Turtle, stop super chatting. You chill.
Keep super chatting. Oh my
No,
goodness.
stop. He said tap the shell. I will tap the shell. But
That's awesome.
um, the that legal obligation is unique to law enforcement, right? Now, it's not an apology, but it is a I'm legally obligated to do some sort of medical intervention. If you did it as not a cop, there is a very real pathway where it shows remorse. Well, what remorse opens the door for is potentially you didn't need to do it or you regret doing it. Or, and so like
But is
on
there
the
something
criminal side
wrong
of,
with? I mean,
I'm with you on that.
okay.
So the reason why an attorney and from a legal lens, we're looking at it purely from a legal lens, not a moral one, right? So
Okay.
on the legal lens side of it, what they're as your attorney, I'm not an attorney, don't take my advice, but I'm good friends with attorneys and we have this discussion all the time. You do not want to open up the door for civil litigation, right?
Hmm. Right.
I
But
shoot the
that's
guy,
where
you've
qualified immunity comes in, right?
it can for law enforcement. It obviously probably will not for there are there's like good Samaritans clauses, right? There's also like I don't
Wow.
have a legal obligation to intervene. Civilians are actually, ironically, and they don't know this, you would be legally like immune to getting sued in most situations as long as that use of force was justified, right?
Mhm.
I was trying to kidnap your kid. You shot me in the calf. I'm now maimed for the rest of my life, and they're going to say, "Tough luck. Maybe don't try to kidnap kids."
Well, yeah.
Heidi's going to be fine, right? However, if you started to tourniquet my leg and help me, or worse, uttered the phrase "I'm sorry," right,
Hmm.
through the whole thing, it legally gives. We'll call it like it's like an argument. I have now the basis for an argument to start to chip away at that immunity that even
Right.
you have as someone who lawfully used force.
That
In the
sucks.
in the law enforcement side of the fence, you have to make a decision and live with it. And that's like I'll
Hmm.
call it a cultural thing, right? And so if I used what I know is justified force, right? Whether the arrest was kind of scummy or whatever it was, all I know is I didn't violate policy, and they aren't choosing to charge me with some sort of crime, right?
Hmm.
Because they felt that my use of force was lawful, whatever.
Uh-huh.
If I apologize for it, I think the idea in their mind is that I'm admitting to misconduct.
Right. And then they can
Misconduct means
use
getting
that
written
too.
up and all that kind of stuff.
Ugh.
I am personally grossed out when at least because an administrator could do it on your behalf, right?
Hmm.
Hey, we understand that somebody got injured we've seen this in justified shootings. Guys over there, you can look at sheriff's office. Don't do it as often, but typically with like municipal police officers or municipal like police departments, you'll see a mentally ill individual went and stabbed somebody. Like, well, that's crazy. You're going to want law enforcement to stop that guy, right?
Hmm.
That unfortunately leads to that person losing their life. We couldn't arrest him. He's running around trying to stab people. He's going to earn a bullet, right?
Okay.
But they can come out and say, either way, this is a tragedy. That's an apology, right? This guy losing his life, obviously, it was due to mental health issues. He was
Right.
causing a very clear danger to others. I really think it's the position of administrators to issue that apology.
Uh-huh.
This whole American Forks thing, the
Yeah.
entire drama for it, if he would have come out and said, we understand this is a legally complicated situation, officers had to go make a very gray call on the ground. We're talking
Yeah.
about it with our legal team. Once we come to a good, lawful conclusion, we'll go ahead and release that statement. We want to go ahead and apologize to anybody that was there. There was any misunderstanding or advocacy that clearly we couldn't suss out. But
Hmm.
we'll get back to you guys when we have more information.
Yeah. See, that's
Would we
great.
be making
Right?
content? Hell no, we wouldn't, right?
Right.
So there would be no content. So
Depends on
part
what
of
they
us are
do after that, but
right.
yeah.
But
Interesting.
had that been the statement, dislocated shoulder later, all that stuff, it was legally complicated. I'm going to go ahead and say that our goal is always to not cause harm. Our goal is to always try to keep the peace
Right.
and navigate this very legal, complicated situation. Officers are having to make a call on the ground, whatever.
Yeah.
I think more chiefs and sheriffs should apologize. You even have PIOs, which is like a public-facing position for police officers.
Hmm.
They should be apologizing more. The problem with law enforcement themselves doing it is you're asking somebody who's having to make use of force decisions to then second guess themselves in a lot of that and then you're
Okay.
it's a hard situation, but you're either between like Uvalde or Reckless Ben is what I'll give it. Reckless Ben's
Okay.
things we shouldn't have been intervening in, and we totally did, and we potentially hurt people doing it, right? Uvalde, clear need for law enforcement interaction, and it
Hmm.
didn't happen. Both can be caused by second guessing.
Yeah. True.
I would argue it's a symptom of a bigger disease, and that's going to be a lack of training and education and like hiring standards and all that stuff.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
the apology coming from the individual officer it's not taught, but it is a
Hmm.
legal mindset of like, I'm not going to issue
Like
you a
careful.
ticket. Yeah,
Yeah.
you beat that ticket, and then I apologize to you for issuing it or whatever.
Sure. Sure.
Because I will challenge everybody else with, and I'm a weirdo, and I apologize to things because I'm an adult and I'm in a good, healthy marriage, and part of that's apologizing, right?
Yeah. Oh no.
But how often do you apologize to other people for even lesser things, right? So this is going to be, saying something rude that you thought was funny in a joke, but they clearly took some level of offense
And
to
you're
it.
like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, if you're not forced to issue an apology, most people don't. And that's at the simple
Interesting.
human based level. now you're having to go make a call that is tied to like your job, if that makes any sense. People screw up at work all the time and never apologize.
Yeah, in whatever field.
And so like it's unique, and law enforcement should be treated differently. I have no problem with people saying, yeah, but you're a cop. Like, you know what I mean? I'm going to hold you to a higher standard, but I don't, it's a hard legal position to be in that most people will never see.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not going to be in the business of arresting people anytime soon. And you happen to arrest me after I got victimized by my boyfriend. You know what I mean? And you didn't know just because I was combative. You showed up like, hey, Josh, like, what's going on? And bam, I hit you in the face because, you know what I mean? You look like my girlfriend. And I thought that you were my girlfriend. Okay. I'm going to jail for assaulting a peace officer. And you're like, oh, I didn't know. But you're a grown man. I showed up to try to help you and you hit me. That apology is likely never coming out. I didn't have I don't personally have a problem with it, but I understand the subculture it exists within.
Yeah. I do I wonder if there could be more, I don't know, emphasis of, giving those kind of statements. I mean, saying like, this was very unfortunate. We're doing everything we can, to do things right by everyone involved. I don't know. I think that, because I can understand that legally that's hard. If you say, oh, I am sorry for doing this, and it's like, oh, well, you shouldn't have done that. Let's sue you. I mean, sure. So I definitely have mixed feelings about that.
Okay, apparently Rose said there's an article about Savvy in the BAM map too. Oh, Savvy. Well, Savvy, hello. He was in another chat. He was talking about the reckless Ben situation.
Okay.
Savvy, stop super chatting. I love you. And it's website information, the BAM map.
The BAM
It's
map.
a website.
Interesting.
Okay, Rose, we're gonna get to it if we can.
You don't mean like where locations
like where?
are?
I think it's let's see. She's got something on here.
No,
It's trying to investigate. It's trying to investigate Bricks and Minifigs. BAM map is a site with all documented FOIA stuff. Oh, so it's like everything collected
just kind of in one place. Interesting. Okay.
FOIA and for the uninitiated Freedom of Information Act information, that's going to be anything documented by the government outside of flock cameras. It's another conversation, but which you and I are probably going to see eye to eye on that a lot.
Sure.
It's public knowledge. I actually really, and Reckless Ben's predicament is an excellent example of investigative journalism. This misconduct has been happening.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good to kind of bring a little bit to light.
Yeah. American Forks being not a good police department is not new. That's what's crazy to me also, like in the comment section for a lot of these. It's like, it's a tiny, tiny little town, and like almost everyone university is like, oh yeah, there's some scumbags. Or I knew cops that worked in other jurisdictions around American Forks, and they thought that American Forks were a bunch of scumbags.
Yeah.
So
it's so fascinating to me.
Yeah, investigative journalism is designed to, where normally a lot of people just don't interact with that department, right? They don't interact with the scumbaggery.
I mean, it's scary. It's a risk,
Yeah, but that I like the idea of compiling that information, especially if like the government investigated itself and didn't find anything wrong. That you can bring it to light and bring that external pressure for change. I think it's an excellent thing. I personally, if news channels won't do it and your politicians won't do it, it's the one beautiful thing about our country is that you have platforms like this where you can bring attention to it. People will go and protest, and I think it's a good thing. And that's coming from
protesting is huge everywhere in the world. It's made a lot of good changes.
So Rose, I hope that answers your question. If not, just chat and I will see it hopefully.
I will see it hopefully. That is every streamer. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. I'm gonna use that. That's great.
Savvy, go. If you're gonna super chat again, you better give it to them and not me.
You're so funny.
You've given me enough chats. Give it to Heidi.
Josh don't want no more chats. All right. So next question.
Okay.
Josh. Okay, your chat's so funny. All right, so regarding the time where we see the American Fork Police saying things like, "Oh, I just wanted to give them a scare. Oh, they're being annoying," that kind of thing. What are your thoughts about just like giving people a scare sometimes? Was that a tactic, or is that a tactic that you've used, or is that just like totally wrong in your mind? Because I have my thoughts.
So the specific statement of I just wanted to scare him, so I pulled him over and whatever.
Hmm.
If I had to put it on the scale of 1 to 10 on police misconduct, it's like a 13 in my opinion.
What?
Now, that's a hot take. Yeah, this is
Okay.
what I'm saying. Like, I'm super mad.
All right.
So
Fascinating.
a lot of people talk about, and when I use the scale, we talk about police misconduct, like somebody died, right? Somebody can die on accident. Like that happens from time to time. It sucks, and it's way up on the scale. But there was some wiggle room there for like, I didn't know it was a bang bang play. This guy's going through a mental health issue and pulls out a metallic object while running at me, and I'm having to go make a split second decision. This guy dies, and you theoretically shot an unarmed person. Like that's not a good conclusion. We might be able to legally argue our way out of it, but that is still misconduct to some degree, right? We're gonna, as society, expect more out of that law enforcement officer,
right?
But I might put that at a 9 or a 10 out of 10,
right? Because someone died.
The reason why for me this is like a 12 out of 10 is you knew what you were doing was wrong and you did it anyways for a self-serving reason. Yep, intent is there.
Yeah. It's clearly there. Oh my gosh.
That's what I mean.
That's so dumb. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
when we covered, it was specifically those series of traffic stops that turned into a DWI investigation. And I could complain about that stop for about like an hour. Like there were so many things wrong with that I was like, I might fire you on the spot. Wow. Like if I was your controlling supervisor and I showed up and I was like, oh, so what do you got? And I was like, oh, I was just trying to scare him. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So you pulled him over to scare him. He's like, yes. And I was like, and you're doing a DWI investigation. Why? Well, I think my friend smelled alcohol. You can go and give me your gun and your badge. I cannot trust you at all to make real law enforcement decisions. And the fear here is if you know it's wrong and you're going to do it anyways, because you feel like you can get away with it. What are you doing to victims of, like vulnerable victims, right?
Matters that actually matter.
Yeah. Here's a 16-year-old girl that's getting blackmailed with nudes. What are you doing with those pictures?
Ooh. Yeah, it shows not a good judgment call in general for this person. Oh my gosh!
So, like I'm gonna place you in a position to have to be there for advocates, and this is gonna happen if you are a police officer in a semi-busy area. There are going to be times, and you would hope you just got kidnapped. Someone was trying to traffic you, and I'm the person that finds you, right? Somehow, by the grace of God, law enforcement officer goes in there, SEAL Team 6 style, finds you, and you are handcuffed and vulnerable, and you see me and think, oh, what a relief. I have a law enforcement officer that's going to save me. But I have nobody knows you're here but me, right? And I happen to find you. And even if I'm off duty, I don't care if I'm on duty or not. I would hope that I have enumerated this individual with power to intervene.
Yeah.
And that he's going to make the right decision and advocate for me as a victim. You don't do it for reckless Ben. You're not going to do it for kidnapped Heidi, in my opinion.
Right.
And even though that situation is crazy different, I need you to be of good moral character. And again,
we need your brain to be okay.
Right. But I need to see that pattern of behavior that I can trust you
all
the time.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, we talked about this last time. Just it's scary seeing these little mistakes that are actually can be a really big deal. Oh. Yeah,
that's kind of why it is one of the worst qualities you can have as a police officer is that lack of trust. Like you're not doing the job the right way. It's illegal. Like it is outright a constitutional rights violation. You know it's wrong. It's one thing if it's like you try to compel an ID for somebody on a criminal trespass. That's legally weird. Like I could see, I have seen people, it's wrong because I'm educated and I've read a book more than once, but I've seen people say, well, I need to put them in the log so I have to get them identified. And I'm like, no, they're not committing a crime when you trespass, warn them. They're doing the crime once you warn them and they don't leave.
After that. Yeah.
Right. And so you can't compel an ID from somebody unless you have reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime. Now, once you do, cool, I can detain them, I can compel the ID, I can do all that stuff because the Fourth Amendment will allow me to at that point. But like, and even the Fifth Amendment doesn't protect you from providing that identifying information to that officer once they can articulate that you are actively committing a crime in front of them. So like there's some legal steps that have to happen there, and I can understand when that gets muddy if it's complicated. But the guy outright said, "Oh, I was just wanting to scare him. Like I didn't really have a good traffic stop." I was like, "You're a scumbag. I want you to never. I don't want you to teach kids. Like I don't want to use. I don't know, stock shelves just at Walmart. You might find a way to screw that up
anymore.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like that to me is a bigger sign of evil.
Mm-hmm. Then like a mistake.
Come back on that. Right.
Something accidental.
I can understand and empathize with a mistake. Mm-hmm. I can even feel sympathy or empathy for someone that makes like a bad mistake. That it was like a tough situation, right? And it is what it is. There's nothing you can do to take that back. You said the wrong thing to somebody that was doing an outcry statement and they took their own life. You're going to live with that for the rest of your life. That happens to cops every day. Mm-hmm. And like that, sure, you screwed up with your IPC skills because you're awkward and you know what I mean? You didn't have the magic words. That person was motivated. We can cut that 1,000 days to Sunday and, you know, we can have a discussion about it. But outright lying or outright stepping out of bounds, like that's, especially when you know. And if he doesn't know, he still has no business being a police officer because it's like day one. Maybe you kind of have to have crime to intervene. You can't just be the Gestapo. But I think he knew. And that grosses me 100%. Out more than anything.
Yeah. Maybe he saw it as harmless, but it's a bigger scheme of things for sure.
Right.
By the way, I want to say, Justice, I am keeping an eye on the chat. I don't read the comments out loud, but I am looking at your guys' chat. So just so you know.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, if you guys have any questions and if I notice a question that is relevant to the conversation or might be interesting, then yeah, I'll definitely pass it along. Okay. So city council meeting. So that's all of my reckless Ben questions. Like there wasn't too much. Okay. So what's your just general advice? Like if you were able to go to an American Fork City Council meeting where like concerns have already been brought up about the police force, the police department, like what would you say? What do you think?
So the public system for voicing grievances is the whole point of town hall meetings, right? Mm-hmm. Is the government is, you can see it. The more popular ones you always end up seeing like clips on for social media is like the federal ones where it's like at the federal level, people are going up to Washington to go complain about XYZ. They have a comment period basically, where they allow people to comment on what the government's plans are. Mm-hmm. You see the most probably the most controversial ones happening now are the ones happening around flock camera purchases, data center purchases, where this is a municipal body, sometimes a county, right? But oftentimes it's a municipal body, which is like a city, saying, hey, we want to sell this land to so-and-so. It's going to require a little bit of taxpayer dollars. Because we're spending taxpayer dollars or because we're making a decision that's going to impact the taxpayer, we have to allow for public comment. If they don't, 15 out of 10 scumbags, vote them out. Here's where guillotines were made for, right? Wow. But public comments in those sections, my recommendation always for people is be organized about your comments. Find everybody that has the same thing to kind of say. Take the most well-spoken person and let that person represent your feelings on the matter. It is your right. If all 30 of the people that agree on something want to go and spend a minute and go, more power to you.
Would that be impactful? I mean, I don't know.
Well, it depends, right? So like, let's say scumbag municipality, right? And scumbag municipality doesn't care. They're going to hammer home whatever this is because they're taking money on the back end or whatever. It'll make for some fun YouTube clips. And I think that there's some value to that, right? We just talked about investigative journalism. If you want to bring in your state agency to say, hey, there's some scumbaggery happening here, or the federal government that can come in and say, hey, like you're taking bribes for this. Like this is an issue, right?
Yeah. You're not going to get away with this.
But I think a lot of a lot of these decisions, especially at the city council level, most of these people don't know what they're doing. They're there because they've figured out that they could win an election. They get paid probably a decent amount of money, depending on the city. And they're just busybodies. They want to be involved in stuff, but they're holistically ignorant on what a data center does to your local infrastructure, or what they're
Sure.
the
That's
same people
a
that
subject I'm not
Facebook.
super familiar with yet.
Right. and it's not an indictment on them. They just don't know what they don't know. But if you know something or feel very passionate about it, especially if it affects you, right, at the local level, the best example I'll give is Trinidad here in Texas. It had horrible water. Like literally, they turn on the faucet, brown water would come out, like Flint, Michigan stuff, right? And this lady just did a Facebook post and went up to city council and was like, hey, this water is kind of a problem. Police chief went and arrested her for it. He's gone now, thank God.
Yeah, that's good.
Had to arrest a bunch of cops, bunch of stuff happened, like it was bad. But just her alone stating her displeasure with it got investigations happening. She got a chief fired, a whole-on criminal investigation on the entirety of her local government, and they're actually looking at trying to fix the water. That's one lady with a Facebook post, literally.
Yeah.
So I do think even the individual can make a difference. Just put your ducks in a row. I think always, rather than just complaining, to offer an alternative, right? It's flock cameras really suck. I don't want to pay for flock cameras. They're super sketchy. I would rather, if we're going to do it, organize. There's like neighborhood watches and stuff like that, where you have people that are consenting to seeing something and saying something, right? And aiding law enforcement in XYZ issue, rather than spending $500,000 on spyware for the public, right? So like offering a solution makes a lot more sense, right? Especially if you do your research and you're like, this is what your thing's going to cost. I don't feel like paying for it. Here's my reasons why I don't want you to do it. And then especially ultimately, they still have the like legislative authority to make said decisions. If I had to convince, Heidi's my sister, right? And her and I both want to sit in the front seat, right? And I'm like, look, girl, like, okay, what do I got to do to sit in this front seat, right? Am I going to get farther with her in that negotiation if I'm like, how about this? I'll let you pick. I'll go with whatever you want to eat when our parents ask us what we want to eat. If you let me sit in the front seat, oh, okay.
Yeah, make a compromise
I really like pizza or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Versus I shove her out of the way and get and sit there like, bro, she's gonna hold that over my head.
Benefit all for me, you get nothing, kind of thing. Yeah, nobody likes that.
And ultimately, unless you want to sit in that chair, that person's still gonna have that legislative authority on you. Make it a negotiation. Don't make it into an argument. Now, they decide to be scumbags. The American forks it. Yeah. In that case, knock it out. Picket forks. That's God bless America. You can go be.
Yeah, there was already a protest, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know where that went. But
I think that's and I think that's a good thing. And there are plenty of examples of you state your case. They don't listen. They say, F you. I'm already getting paid for it. And they're going to do what they feel like doing. And if that's the case, protest away. You have every right to do it. But typically I would always start the first way, and then you can lean back on that. We tried asking, we tried asking nicely.
Right. Easy way or the hard way, as Ben would say.
We do things differently here.
We do things differently. You do different things. Okay, we do too. Interesting.
Just call shotgun. No
blitz. We're all good. Yeah, shotgun solves everything.
That's amazing. This is a country of laws.
By the way, Rose, I did pull up the BAM map, so I'll be looking at that because I don't really know. I'm not familiar with this website. I'll be looking at that probably another time. But it's really good to know that that's like in existence. So appreciate it. Somebody in the chat said that they've seen like people getting, or if I skimmed the comment, so let me know if I'm wrong, but have you seen people being like kind of kicked out of city council meetings just for, so what's that about?
Okay, so the criteria for getting kicked out of anywhere, right, in general, legally speaking, is you're being disruptive. So the city council has to do its minutes. It has, like, from a what's it called? Like a rules standpoint, I have to do the hearing, which means I have to, and this is definitely abused all the time.
Okay.
But typically, if it is your time, so Heidi's getting her 2 minutes to talk, but people are being disruptive and she's not getting a voice, which is the whole point of this whole thing, like exercise.
Yeah.
I can force people to leave.
Yeah.
Like you're not allowing this person to say, Heidi's like, I think I should always get the front seat, right? Josh is a scumbag. He always gets to pick what he eats because he's a calorie proficient guy, right? So like,
yeah. But if I have the mic, then I can say that.
Mic and I'm yelling over you while you're talking.
That's understandable.
I get to get kicked out for being disruptive, right? And like for the sake of decorum, they try to maintain that as much as they can. I have seen that get abused a lot, especially in smaller cities because they don't know the difference. They're a bunch of idiots.
Okay.
Or they don't want the soundbite, right? They don't want you to have your Facebook video where you're complaining to the city council. Call it ego, call it whatever, call it bad marketing.
I'm sure it is ego, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And they'll force you out. Something else to consider, especially when you talk about like how you're delivering that message, if it is just like a litany of like F-bombs and stuff like that. And again, people can say the First Amendment all they want. There is still a decorum aspect of it where they could say that that's disruptive or offensive to a broader audience. Don't open your, it is a very big gray area on what constitutes disruptive. And oftentimes the state statute will say disruptive and not get into any more details than that.
Interesting.
The judge probably isn't going to care very much about what they thought disruptive was. Also, that judge is working at the same level that city councilor is. So, like,
they're
really
all
careful.
On the same team, kind of thing.
I think as long as you're being, I'm not going to say respectful, but courteous. So, like your place in society, and every city is a little different. But if generally dropping F-bombs is appropriate, you can drop an F-bomb. If city council is dropping F-bombs, you can drop F-bombs, right?
Imagine.
But you got a legal argument to say this is normal and not disruptive, right?
Yeah. I
was given minutes. I was given the floor. I said what I said. I didn't threaten anybody. I could have called them money grubbing scumbags, right? That's not going to be something that's going to raise alarm or anything crazy like that. I didn't threaten
it's
anybody.
An opinion.
Yeah.
Which opinions are hopefully welcome at a city council meeting. That's the whole point.
And that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm like, I'm going to find you when you go home.
and I'm going to go egg your house. And I mean, that's not the worst, but But like the idea behind that is this is disruptive, potentially threatening. It now starts to raise to a disruption. It's going to be very counterintuitive to your plan, right? Or your goal that you're trying to influence. But I think once you've heard the argument once, probably heard the argument, you're going to hear it like another 100 times. That's why I think like having an organized front of, it was a really good one. I wish I could remember where this happened. Okay.
It's only like 30 people that showed up to this little town hall, tiny little town hall. It's like a school gym or something like that. It tells you how small this municipality was.
Sure.
And I think it was like, they were trying to tear down like a historic building. I don't know, replace it with Starbucks, something stupid like that.
Sure.
And so everyone in the community was like, hell no, this is our building. This is our city.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
So one guy spoke for the group and they all said like, these elections are decided by 1 or 2 votes every year. He's like, you watch 40 walk out the door. And literally the guy said his piece. Everyone else left after that. Wow. And it was just like in a move of solidarity as a city, right? As the city voters, like that vote alone could get them unelected next year. That's an idle enough threat of like, hey, maybe I consider this argument, right? They were respectful. They were cool about it, but they said, understand that the building goes, you go.
Yeah. We're not messing around.
Right.
I love that.
And so, but like that was a like clear objective. Now they keep doing it. Now you start to do your protests and your exposés and like you see the construction signs show up. You're like, okay, like now you can get a bit more disruptive because you've tried the peace side of it right before. But that would be my biggest, it's one of the best things about the American system of representation, specifically at the municipal level. Town hall meetings, a lot can happen there. A lot often doesn't. Because policy is typically written a year out, like in advance. So like the affecting that stuff, it matters sometimes. This is why I don't like national politics
Okay.
in the way that it's ran, because like you're going to say, well, this guy's running as a Republican. I was like, well, in a local town hall meeting, that shouldn't matter. You should be running as a representative of my city that's dealing with my city, or a representative of my neighborhood that represents my neighborhood. Because what you're doing affects me every day.
Mm-hmm.
And like the issues and policies that are going to affect stuff nationally, they're national issues, right? Are completely holistically different than where my direct residency tax dollars are going to.
Yeah, yeah.
My business is here, my kids are here, whatever. I think too often people take what's happening nationally and try to apply it locally. And it just never works out that way. We're too big of a country.
Oh yeah.
We're too like diverse from like
Yeah.
an income. Like you guys have to worry about stuff
Opinions,
like snow. Like I've never seen a plow truck a day in my life.
Yeah. Different.
Never once.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to shovel snow, period. We don't
You're
even
lucky.
have snow shovels.
You are lucky.
We just don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But if I was going to tax, you could tax snow shovels 500% and nobody would care.
Exactly.
Here in Texas.
Yeah. You're not going to
You're
protest.
going to do that up north? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
You
and
burn
people
that
would
place to the
freak
ground.
out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so true. It's really fascinating how, I mean, I've said for a long time that going to a different state sometimes in the United States sometimes feels like going to a different country just by how different everything is.
Yeah.
So that is fascinating. But that's interesting. That would be interesting to learn more about just like how much of a difference you can make in a city council meeting versus like,
well, because you
I mean,
got to imagine you're a voting base, right? So this is kind of where the easiest example you could think of here is going to be what are they called? Like either collective bargaining agreements. So you have or you have like organizations like SAG, where like you are part of a there's a word for this, union.
oh yeah.
So that union comes together. They hire the well-spoken person to go be a representative. So Heidi's going to be the speaker for our group because she's the put together lady, right? And
So
you and I see eye to eye. Our audiences see eye to eye, and you happen to be in a position to say, "Hey, well, she's put together. She looks good on camera.
Yeah,
we're going to
speak
put
for
her
us."
up there." So yeah, and like you're going to commune with us to get as best educated as you can and to represent those people as best as possible. And then we are going to support you and say, hey, heck yeah, give her some lunch. Make sure that she gets there.
Give her some lunch. Give her an energy drink. Yeah, let's do it.
Right? But that like those tend to be very effective.
Yeah.
Collective bargaining or unions tend to be very effective in representing and influencing government. It's a mixed bag, in my opinion, on how it does it. And like who's fighting for who, because technically racist people could all get together and decide, hey, heck yeah, we're going to bring back Jim Crow. And theoretically, if it was enough of them, they could do it.
Sure.
And so I think that's kind of why, weirdly enough, the work that you and I do here on trying to influence public culture, right, and the subcultures and like how people's perspectives are getting molded.
Things.
Oh, dude,
sure.
This
that's
is
a big deal.
The culture war currently happening in this country is an important one. I think if you can change hearts and minds, you eliminate the ability for some sort of hate group like that to kind of elevate and dominate, especially because, again, it'll be a national issue. It'll become adopted at the local level, and that's problematic, I think.
Yeah. So interesting.
A guild.
I know the guild. I saw. I love that. I'm gonna put a guild together. They're actually. I mean, have you seen the guy who's been getting up at American Fork City Councils? Has your chat sent you this? There's a person who gets up at every city council meeting in American Fork and mentions the police department and this situation that's been publicized. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know who he is. I think he mentions his name sometimes, but I was thinking, I'm like, if I see him at the city council meeting, I'll for sure introduce myself and be like, hey, let's like exchange information or something. If like maybe we can get some other people who have a similar opinion and build something. I don't know. I've never been to a city council meeting in my life. I don't know how to get involved, but I like want to, but I don't really know where to start. So it's going to be interesting.
City council, if for those of you that know, like Rotary clubs are a thing like across America, PTA meeting or PTA groups, which is like parent teacher groups, right? That's a thing. It's not for everybody. Like I don't have the patience for it, to be honest, like me personally. Now I do advocacy, which is a little different. I consult with those groups all the time. I'm technically consulting with you, right? Like we're getting together and you're picking my brain for the things
Discussions,
that I have, right?
conversations, all that. Yeah.
And so like I don't mind being on the like programmatic side of it where like I'm a doer in certain spaces, so I develop an expertise. And then when a problem comes up, and especially if it's one that I totally understand their argument for it, I love giving my 2 cents or at least like helping to sharpen that sword and be like, hey, if you're going to attack this problem, this is the best way to do it.
Sure.
This is the way that I think you're going to be effective. And I don't even mind signing my endorsement on you doing it. And you get to say now, hey, we even consulted an expert, and the expert even says you're an idiot. I was like, hey, wave that sword. Heck yeah, do it. Like I'm trying to empower you with that sword, right? That's theoretically what we did against American Forks. You know, where nobody else was really wanting to, especially on the law enforcement side, address some of those issues. I was like, no, let's not get this twisted. This is scumbag policing. Like at the word, it's negligent at the best, criminal at worst, especially in certain like situations. I could argue that. And so like the lending that expertise and coming from a position of authority as a doer, I think can really lend to making those. Again, you're showing up to the city council, you're demanding you want changes in American Forks. You now get to quote XYZ subject matter expert that's saying this person who's a law enforcement officer, it's a certified peace officer from one of the biggest states in the country.
Yeah, this is some advice
with us that this is misconduct. This is not my personal opinion. This is misconduct. Here's the state statutes they're violating. Here's the constitutional things that they're violating. If you don't choose to address it, you're willfully allowing abuse within you. And if that's a stance you want to take, cool. I'll see you in November. You know, when we're running like that's incredibly powerful, I think.
Okay, that's good to know. I saw a chat in chat. It says, "It's me. This is getting dumb." I feel like that's where I saw the video of the guy getting up in city council. This is getting dumb. Are you the guy that's standing up in city council? Like you tell me. I mean, like message me. I don't know. My email's on here, you know, because I'm definitely interested in chatting. But yeah, very, very interesting. That's cool. Yeah, I appreciate you. I don't know. Kind of like supporting, I don't know, people in American Fork in this, you know. Well, it's interesting.
They won't see change unless someone does. That's the best way, because you got to think like how many people really actually had their hand in the pot for the civil rights movement to be successful, right? Like Jim Crow would still exist unless external people got involved, right?
Right, and I'm sure it started with just certain people talking amongst themselves and then kind of building after that. Oh, that would be really interesting to learn about more about like civil movements and how they like really get started. Anyway, it's fascinating.
And to mixed degrees, I definitely think that there's some sussiness. The CIA gets involved in these things, and there's definitely like that's a very complicated space. But I think it is the most powerful mechanism that is really unique to us in America. A lot of people talk about well, we can have guns and a bunch of weird stuff, but like we are only still allowed to be private property owners and people that can literally tell your government F off without going to prison for the rest of your life. That's very unique to America. So it's a cool.
Is it? I mean, is that?
Oh,
I wonder. I mean, I'm sure. I know that there are countries where, like, if you say things, it's like, but then I do wonder how many countries do like they can say, you know, what their opinion is and not get in trouble for it. I bet that there is more than maybe we realize. But
it's a spectrum for sure. But the leash we get is immense.
Yeah,
I mean it is enormous.
And I hope it stays that way.
That we get to. It should.
Yeah. I know that certain things have been. Yeah. I've seen some maybe politicians and people, I don't know, starting to move away from that, and I'm like, no, let's keep our freedom of speech at the least, you know. Yeah, and, for sure.
As a representative of the law enforcement community, I'm a current active peace officer. I hope people get to flip me off for the rest of forever.
Yeah,
I hope that's a good sign.
For sure.
Those are people that feel safe with the service that we're providing them, that they know I'm not going to hurt them, even if they're being jackasses to me, right? That is weirdly enough a good sign of culture. Kids can be that way.
Yeah.
You know, technically, if a kid feels comfortable enough around you to tell you no and kind of throw you some attitude or whatever, like that kid feels safe around you.
Because
kids that are abused,
they can voice their thoughts
Oh,
and feelings. Yeah.
you'd be shocked at like, and there's signs. Now there's personality quirks with everybody, but like you see a kid that just refuses to cry, or a kid that
Mm.
refuses to do
And it's like
XYZ,
they
like
have
there,
it rough at
that's
home.
that there's problems here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Very interesting. Yeah, this is getting dumb. What's your name again? I think that you said your name, but if you want to remind me your name, yeah, I will see you there. You should message me before and we can, I don't know, chat about the things.
Well, I have a lot of homies here popping up in chat. Oh my,
Yay!
they're gonna see me for a couple hours this evening, so I'm happy to see some of these guys here this after or this morning for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Um, okay, next question. Yeah, that is definitely something that I want to learn a bit more about is I mean, I feel like I'm very slowly just learning, US policies and state by state policies, which is just
Oh,
insane to
wildly
I'll
different.
never
Yeah.
learn everything, but versus other countries and I think that we do things really well here and then I think that other countries do things much better than we do and we can all learn from each
Mhm.
other, so it's really
Yeah,
fascinating.
yeah, we are far from subject matter experts on civics. We're
Yeah,
good at a
yeah.
lot of things here in America. It's not that.
Yeah,
Like
nope.
we're really bad
Nope.
at that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, that's awesome though. Um, okay, let's see. Daniel, okay. It's so nice to meet you, Daniel. That's just wild to me. How cool. The internet is freaking awesome. Um, okay, so one of my specific questions for things that we could bring up in Purple Cowboys for mine. Oh, that's so awesome. Anyway, um, one of the things that I think could be beneficial to bring up as like a solution or a suggestion, like a specific suggestion for the police department is
Right.
like length of training. I think that in American Fork it's a lot shorter than
Yeah.
other cities, other states, other countries. I was telling my husband about this, just getting his thoughts about it, and he said that it might not be a good idea because of how small American Fork is, that we
Right.
can't expect to have the same amount of training or length or quality as some other bigger cities with more budget. And on one hand, it's like, okay, that's fair. But on the other hand, it's like, well, that's unfair. Like, why do we
Right.
get less quality officers that where like they could potentially hurt us because of lack of training because we're a
Right.
smaller city? So what are your thoughts on that?
So that there's a really cool organ, and I'm gonna hang out with him this weekend. This guy's name's Chappie. He's from the Task Force 70 Foundation, and they actually go to small municipalities to fix these issues.
Yeah.
Really cool nonprofit. It's very cool that they do that.
Okay.
But the big issue is, so they're a nonprofit. So that means that they're externally funded,
Sure.
and they're not charging police departments for this work, right?
Right.
They're doing this for the love of the game,
Absolutely.
right? The problem with training standards is, what do you think it would cost per officer? Let's say if
Right.
we added 20% more hours worth of training to that officer, what would that cost? Did a ballpark it in your head?
So I'm so bad with numbers or money.
Right.
I honestly have no idea, but I'm sure
So
it would be a lot.
Yeah. So if a bachelor's degree, let's say a 240-hour bachelor's degree, right,
Hmm.
is costing you, let's say, $40,000, $50,000.
Hmm.
If I had to make that a 300-hour bachelor's degree, that's what, 60 more hours worth of classes at 4 hours a piece. How many of those classes are $3,000 to $10,000 a class? That's before
Right.
books. That's paying for the
Yeah,
instructor, it's paying
supplies.
for the facilities or whatever. So imagine if I'm now adding per officer, right? Let's say $40,000 more dollars, and I have, I don't know, 50 officers or something like that. I not only have to take the individual officers who are there and spend money on them, all of the incoming officers now get more expensive, just on the training cycle side of it.
Hmm.
That doesn't include, well, now I have to have probably a higher caliber person that I'm recruiting. There's less of those, so we're likely it's going to be harder to fill those seats. I'm also adding opportunities for officers to fail, which is a good thing in my opinion.
Hmm.
But let's say I'm asking them to be subject matter experts on maybe more niche social issues. So like you could talk about MHID is the kind of envelope, but it's mental health like issues, right? So it's going to be everything from the autism spectrum to either acute or chronic like anxiety disorders and stuff like that. I want this officer to be able to see, understand, and diagnose. We'll have to test that. It's not just training. I also have to see that you actually have a practical application of that skill.
That's outside of like law enforcement kind of.
Right. Well, it is and it isn't.
I mean, that's fair. It's
right?
Overlapping for sure.
There are some places where it's state mandated. You cannot have a peace officer's license unless you take the training. Texas is one of those, right?
I think that's pretty cool.
Well, and it's cool, but it's expensive.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And so we're a huge tax base. Texas as a whole, massive tax base.
Yeah.
And so we can afford it. Right. And especially once you start getting into like really nice cities. So you have we have Plano, and these are the GDPs of these cities are more than some states alone. And they're not even like in the top 10 cities size wise. So that's kind of wild. Texas is unique in that way.
Yeah. Texas is unique in so many ways.
Yeah. We're paying police officers in some of those places like $130,000 a year. And that's because our income, like you could probably make it on like 80 for like a household. This guy's making way above that. Now has to have the bachelor's degree, has to have all this extra training. After step pay, this guy's maybe making $160 or something like that. And that's not like a crazy number given the area or whatever. But like, can the taxpayer afford that? That's going to be the first problem is, are they going to want to pay for it? Like, I believe that teachers and like class sizes should be smaller, or because of birth rates going to run into that anyways. But
interesting.
If you could pay teachers more and you could support them with more training and more tools, you would have better education, just outright. Right. Same issue goes with cops. The problem is cops are astronomically more expensive than teachers are on the individual level, right? Because they have to have patrol cars and uniforms and weapons and like there's a bunch of stuff. I'm asking them to solve a lot of problems, right?
Like very life-risking problems, which is not ignored.
And so like the part of it's bandwidth. I think a lot of it's just and by that I mean like the taxpayer bandwidth. You cannot afford to have both like excellent internet, excellent power grid,
which we're working on the internet. Roads. Oh my God, don't even get me started. Anyway, yeah.
But you know what I mean? But like all of these mouths need to get fed at the municipal level, right? People want better sidewalks. The library sucks. Our library is awesome actually.
So that's something we have going for us. But yeah,
hey, that's good work by somebody.
Yeah,
but like that to feed the police mouth is always going to be hungry. Because I'm always going to have employees. I'm always going to have turnover. I'm always going to have officers getting injured. I'm always going to have I'm going to add what's already normally a very expensive thing for cities to have. That's why a lot of these cities just choose to let the county deal with it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to let the sheriff's office be the cops here because that sounds expensive. I would rather spend my money on school and all that other stuff, and I'll just pay way less money per officer to just pay the county to do the services for us. You see this a lot with EMS. You do not have almost any in a lot of places local EMS. That's a private entity. They worry about licensing, they worry about training standards, but they have the funding to do it as a private body. Now you see some like fire departments that'll take on some of those tasks, but ultimately we call it the Band-Aid box. But like the ambulances, that's all they do is medical assistance, right? Those services tend to be privatized in a lot of places just because municipalities just can't afford it. Like, why would I spend all this money on a thing that most of us probably won't use? And typically, if you're using them, you need to put PD anyways. And I don't know. It's a civics problem for sure.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, as opposed to just complaining about it, how do we fix it? In my opinion, I think that you fractionally take responsibilities away from law enforcement. So because imagine this. So like, let's say I, as a municipality, said, hey, we want to start hiring people to do part-time work for detective stuff. And I get all the like true crime girlies that are like, oh, I could part-time and moonlight as a detective, right? I would love that. But I'm now not paying, let's say what normally I have to keep 15 detectives on staff. That's a lot of sworn pieces. These, they have to still be weapons qualified. They still have to be, these are police officers basically. Right. So they have to stay and maintain the standard to be a peace officer, but we're paper pushing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're paper pushing for more money than new hires are because now I have seniority and you have to pay me for step pay. Maybe I promote, whatever.
Sure.
Um,
Interesting.
I could do the same workload, right? And my turnover could be expensive and all that stuff. And I don't have to pay as much in training if I'm replacing most of that workload with non-sworn staff. So how much training do I have to give, Heidi, to be a detective? You learn a little bit about the law.
I hope
I could
a lot, but I
probably
mean,
teach you.
I don't know.
No, it's really not that. What am I asking you to do?
Just kind of look into things and just find
play a puzzle
stuff.
solving game.
Sure.
Literally, like you're not arresting anybody. You're not going
That is
code.
true.
You're not shooting anybody.
I'm not actually enforcing anything. I'm just finding information.
You are following leads, figuring out what, because really, dispatch is a great example of this. Dispatch is operating at an emergency capacity. They are actually talking to people, but the amount of training a dispatcher needs is astronomically smaller and cheaper than anything you would ever ask out of a police officer.
Right, makes sense.
Because the environment you're putting them in,
they're not on
equipment needed
scene.
to do, hook them up with a computer, a headset, and 6 weeks worth of training, and you'd be shocked what you can get a dispatcher to accomplish in that amount of time versus almost a year. And I mean, I think we cost $1.1 million per officer for the department that I first started at.
Holy
in training.
Cow.
It was crazy. And we had 700 sworn.
Wow.
So the crazy. So like,
I wonder how many we have sworn
budget.
here.
Yeah.
Can I know? I mean, can we look that up? I don't know how to know that.
If you look up, every police department has to do like an annual budget. So just Google American Forks budget. And there will likely be a packet that the chief has to put out, and it kind of talks about how they did, what their budget is. They will have a personnel number on there.
Okay.
I think that's federally required. I
personnel
know in Texas it's
cost for at least AI is saying $695,000.
And that's to bring somebody on.
Yeah.
So it can be expensive.
I'll donate $5 to that.
Let's go.
Everybody in American Fork donates $5. I can do a tiny something, but anyway.
So, interesting. But I think fractionalizing law enforcement officers' responsibilities is a huge help because it lowers the cost. I also need less police officers to do all of these like ancillary jobs. I can just have them work, and if I only have to recruit, let's say 20 really good cops, rather than having to hold 60 that do a bunch of different jobs.
And you have to fire later anyway.
Exactly. It is cheaper for me to pay more money to 20 good cops than it is to pay less money to 60 bad ones.
Exactly.
Right. And so like, I think that the law enforcement job should become more rare, probably. It should be very patrol and like emergency service provider oriented. And there's a lot of even like administrative positions that could be moved over to non-sworn positions. Like I would like somebody with a law enforcement background to be making like administrative decisions because at least they can understand our perspective.
Yeah.
Make them do ride-alongs, make them do stuff like something. Because they need to understand who they're administrating over. But like there's a lot of things that probably law enforcement officers shouldn't be doing that they are doing.
Yeah.
And there's some positions like I'm a reservist, right? So like I am going to work patrol for free. I cost the taxpayer $0 to go out and do patrol. Well, that same, my agency also has guys in the property room that are reservists. So these are fully licensed peace officers. They could still technically don the uniform and go and get after it, but they have full-time employment in other places. They just come here because they want to keep their peace officer status. And they can work the property room for way cheaper than it would be to hire a full-time person to do it. And most of their staff tends to be non-sworn staff.
Interesting.
So this is, again, I need to teach you how to do clerical work and do just a thorough background check on you. Way cheaper than a cop doing it.
Okay, and smart.
Oh, Mando brought it up. This actually happened in my old agency. Arlington PD started a program with Arlington University, or the University of Arlington, technically. But they gave a college class for cold cases. And a college class solved a 20-year-old murder. It was kind of wild. Like the person was still alive to arrest.
Yeah.
And so I think it was pretty cool, like that you have even opportunities like that where it's interns, theoretically. Now you're going to need like some law enforcement oversight, but you have a cop, some old retired guy. I'm an old retired guy, right? Technically, right? But you have people
At least
like
retired.
that can go, and administrate over those positions to make sure that you're at least getting a law enforcement lens over it. But like, you'd be shocked what you could accomplish with that.
Yeah. Interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
Let's see. The American Forks Police Department employs 54 sworn peace officers and 10 civilian staff members.
I'm seeing 54 on one. I'm seeing 22 on another comment. So I'm not exactly sure what it is, but a lot less.
Tyler tends to be on it. Yeah, the agency I started off in was, I think it was 700 sworn and like 180 non-sworn.
Yeah.
And then the current agency I'm currently with, I'd have to Google it. I'm gonna Google this.
Yeah. Thank goodness for Google.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no.
I mean,
answers can be
pros and cons. Yes, for sure. Somebody else, while you're looking at that, was saying, I mean, because you do hear 911 calls where like dispatchers can tell when somebody's actually in needing help, even when they say they don't, or they're ordering pizza and they catch on to things like that. So I mean, I do think that how much training, I don't know. I know that that's not like your department. That's not like, you're not a dispatcher.
Like how much do dispatchers get?
Oh, no. I mean like training. Like, is training could be pretty life-saving for dispatchers as well.
So training, so you get dispatchers, just like cops, really mixed bag, right? So there's also two different functions. There's dispatching and call taking, technically. In some departments, those are separate jobs.
They are?
Now, in a lot of smaller agencies, that's one person, right? So like at American Forks, I can guarantee you that's one person, right? Some poor lady has to go hit the switchboard, be listening to someone yell at them while they then dispatch on the radio what's going on, right? My agency, it was two different positions. Now, there was like 7 dispatchers working on just dispatching and like 30 call takers dealing with calls that were incoming, right?
I never heard that before. Interesting.
Yeah, well, and because you got to imagine it's active and it's happening. So like I'm talking
to you need
right
to
now,
do action while you're talking.
Imagine how hard it would be because it's timely. Like we want our response time to be as quick as possible.
I can't even talk with you and also like type a chat in without like having to like go silent for a second and like try and focus.
So dispatchers
I get that.
crush that skill set in and of itself, like just being able to listen and then dictate, especially accurately, while also sussing out like. Because a good dispatcher, and shout out to the few that are out there, there's a few, they're not only asking the right questions, and then some of that's training, right? Like, hey, where are you? Who are you? Who are you around? Whatever. But they'll also ask like, hey, you wouldn't happen to be armed, would you? You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't have to be like, armed with a what? Like, do you want pepperoni on the pizza? Like, kind of thing. Like, you get some of those more experienced dispatchers that can kind of read between the lines. They'll also add notes like, hey, I think this person's possibly like on the autism spectrum, like be advised. They might think to ask questions like you're having a medical emergency, right? And it's a violent situation, so law enforcement has to go, do you have any communicable diseases that you need them to know about? Like, I'd like to know, take universal precautions, which like if they have some potentially like deadly disease or something that's like highly communicable, be nice to know before I go and expose myself, right?
For sure. Interesting.
It happens. You get exposed, bro. The amount of like, you think kids at daycare are gross, like cops are disgusting. But funny. Being able to get all that information and then disseminating that information efficiently to law enforcement so that they can go and respond to this call is a task unto itself.
Yeah.
Training helps dispatchers, I think, a lot more than it helps cops, weirdly enough. Because there's a lot of it's a very sterile experience.
Okay.
I'm listening to the call and I'm typing into a computer, and you will do nothing but that for your whole career. Listen to the call, type in the computer. Listen to radio traffic, type on the computer, right? You're going to do a lot of multitasking. I think as you get more comfortable and familiar, the task gets, sorry, I'm burping. The task gets simplified. But with
Yeah,
law
which is
enforcement,
sounds like a good idea.
yeah, in law enforcement, there's a lot of things that you can really only learn through experience, right? I can tell you how to de-escalate, but until someone's screaming in your face, making personal jokes to you, right? And like I have now, you've been up for 16 hours, you're getting in a fight right now. Like there's certain things you learn about yourself in those environments where experience is kind of the end all be all.
Interesting.
Experienced police officers almost always do better than well-trained ones.
Yeah.
Really, the difference is, can I get training to tailor the behavior you demonstrate during those environments in something that like is going to be a lot more palpable or judicial, right? Like you are acting more lawfully because of your training, but you are acting safer and more efficiently due to experience. Like there's like a double-edged side of that coin, right? Some of that it applies to dispatch, but not as much.
Yeah, that makes sense. Something that I'm noticing, just about, just to, before we forget about what you said, being up for 16 hours, somebody mentioned like that shows a problem with the system in general. Like maybe that's
Right.
that's an issue where maybe cops need to be, I don't know, treated better or something. Would that make a difference?
I've had a discussion, and it's actually something I'm going to bring up. I'm doing like a meeting of the minds this weekend. It's be really, really cool. But the deployment schedules is kind of what I called it. So in the military, you have deployments, right? You go get a bunch of training. You do like a train up before you get sent to an operation and wherever it's going to be in the world. And then you get deployed. While you're deployed, you're in a forward operating base. You're doing your job, no matter what your job is. And then you come home for a little bit, do a little bit of R&R, and that process spools back up again, right? Yeah. For cops, you get out of academy and then they run you until you die, basically. Yeah. Either socially, spiritually, I've heard of like, or literally.
Like monthly trainings and stuff, but like, yeah, you're just kind of out there always.
So it's shift work at the end of the day. So anybody that's in like blue collar jobs will appreciate that. If you work in the AC business, the summer sucks. You're working 80-hour weeks and stuff like that, but the winter will come, right? You're like, I'm not a heating guy. I'm a cooling guy, right? So all I worry about is the coolers, right?
Sure.
Same thing like tow truck drivers, right? Like there's certain times of the day where it's a little busier than others. Emergency services as a whole is a 24-hour, 365 days a year thing. Someone is currently working, and I've worked Christmases. You know, I've worked birthdays, I've worked anniversaries. Like, sorry, like I can't give you the day off. We need people to be there to answer 911 to deal with emergency services, right?
Right.
I have to mortgage the need for emergency response with the realities of the human condition, right? I think service members will probably understand it more than others because like your task is kind of life or death in a lot of situations there, or at least critical to national security, whatever they want to call it. They abuse the hell out of you as an individual in those spaces because like, hey, you know what you signed up for. This is going to be a tough job. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
You know, suck it up, buttercup. Law enforcement is going to be that way at times, right? This is your third 16-hour shift in a week, which is rough. And the human brain does not operate well. I can tell you from experience, does not operate operationally in that time. I think there is possibly administrative ways to see that, identify it, and kind of make them work a little less. The problem is that's only really doable when you have manpower.
Yeah.
We're all far too short-handed, and it's literally why I'm volunteering to go back.
Yeah.
Is to try to help that process, and also to like encourage others to do the same. If you're a qualified law enforcement professional and you're outside of law enforcement, you should at least
volunteer.
Right. Exactly. It cost you. Oh, it cost me time, but like it is a way to give back that's better than just me talking on the internet.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
But we also need like non-sworn staff to do that. You know, dispatchers need a break. Crime scene people need a break. Like there's a lot of these back in the day, and this is you can look at the history of law enforcement, right? The Night's Watch literally was a thing. And the whole purpose of this is like way back in like the 1600s and stuff like that. Yeah. When you look before policing was this organized profession as it is now, I just needed someone to make sure the town didn't burn down at night. Or I just needed someone to make sure that if somebody came up to the gate and knocked on the gate, that somebody opened it so we're not leaving some poor lady out there, right?
Sure.
And so the Night's Watch at the time historically came out of the reality of life. We need someone to be awake at night to solve nighttime problems. We also like want, well, dang it, you know, our cat got out and our 12-year-old went to go chase the cat. I want to make sure somebody's out there making sure someone grimy is not there to go pick up kids and stuff like that. And so security was a more community problem back then. I do think we're probably going to have to, especially in smaller municipalities where you just don't have the money, like American Forks doesn't have the tax base to support what they probably want out of law enforcement. And if that's the case, you do have to find some level of community solution, in my opinion.
Interesting.
It's cheaper. There's also a lot more buy-in from the community, like as a whole. That being said,
what do you mean by that? Sorry.
Like buy-in?
Yeah.
So like, so it's an us problem. So like, imagine a sports team, right? I'm a Cowboys fan, and unfortunately, it's just the reality is I live here, right?
Fine.
And so it's
no
a
judgment, right, guys?
Yeah, no, we listen and we don't judge.
And we don't judge.
But like I watch the games, you know, I haven't bought a jersey in decades because they've been terrible. But
I get that.
yeah, but like I have buy-in because I'm participating actively in that fandom,
like you're
if
invested,
you want to call it that, right?
Kind of thing.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
So from a law enforcement standpoint, if let's say like teachers get a voice with our SROs, or like if you're, again, you as a representative of like your neighborhood or something like that, you're getting a voice with me, and like I'm helping to empower you guys to be like, hey, someone's being a scumbag drag racing down your street, give me the plate. I'll run that thing down. Hell yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna be more receptive to the things that are happening. You're also going to have a more active involvement. It's like the feedback's immediate, as opposed to it having to happen in a city council meeting and it's like 15 times removed. Not only are you going to be more familiar as to why things are happening the way that they are in your police department, you're also likely going to get ahead of it and start influencing the way that things are happening in the police department because you're involved. It's a two-pronged issue because I do think it works really well in small jurisdictions. It does not work very well in big ones. And the reason behind that is diversity. So like in American Forks, how homogenous do you think American Forks is?
I mean, we got lots of white people here, if that's what you mean.
Right. So there is a general shared culture and understanding, like everyone's touched the Mormon church in some way, shape, or form, right?
So very true. Yeah.
Right. And so your worldview, whether you're affiliated or not, is going to be done through that lens. That's just the reality of it. Like I grew up in Texas, so everything culturally for me is through the lens of Texas. The problem with big cities in Texas is most people aren't from there. We have people from New York, California, wherever, like people move here all the time.
Sure.
More so than that, you also have like very real, like we have mosques, we have synagogues, we have churches, we have Baptist, Methodist, Catholic churches. Like there is a lot of subgroups within our group here. So the problem with having community buy-in is you could never really have enough, and no one by nature is going to agree on the way that it should be done.
Sure.
If that's the case, you do want to have the neutral third party that's what the Constitution's for, right? That just kind of administers the Constitution, and you just complain to me as I do it, right? Because there's no way I'm feeding. The reality is, there's no way I'm feeding every mouth. There's just no way. We have the Captain Planet of society as far as diversity is concerned, and it's not a racial or ethnic thing. It's purely cultural, in the sense that you have people that vote
Just
very
your
blue.
experience, your upbringing,
you know,
what you're used to.
All of those, everybody's not from here collectively. They move here and adopt some semblance of Texas culture, but generally, and I think it's a good thing for Texas, in my personal opinion.
I think diversity is really cool.
Right. The food here is incredible. I can have a mean bowl of ramen. I can have sushi, Mexican food, and
Barbecue.
Greek food. Barbecue's a given here, right?
I mean, obviously.
But like all of that's in the same city block. And it's like authentic, incredible, niche mom and pop food, and it's amazing. Like I'm grateful for that cultural influence.
I miss that about LA, but yeah.
California as a whole crushes in that department. Again, one of the most diverse places on the planet there.
Utah's getting better.
Right.
We got a lot to work on.
But administering the law to that group of people is hard. Because like I said, there's places where I remember I had to be careful about talking to women. I had a very strong. It was a mosque within my area
Hmm.
of operations, and these were,
Oh,
I mean, Orthodox Islamic communities, right?
yeah,
And so when I showed up, it was weird. I was like, I would request female officers because like I cannot talk to women here.
yeah.
Like
But
it is
how
a
does
big
that
issue,
work legally? I mean,
right?
because you
So
can't get
I
into
treat
legal trouble like
right,
over a
right.
religious issue, right? I mean, that maybe that's another subject.
So right, no,
But
but I would show up and say, I'm going to treat you just like I do everybody else. Am I going to offend some people within the Islamic faith that I'm telling a
probably,
man in his
but
own house to go stand over there and shut up?
right,
Hell yeah, I am. But I do that to everybody.
right,
I'm
exactly.
treating him the exact same way I'm treating the Mexican family, the exact same way I'm treating the Southern Baptist family.
Hmm.
It's equal application of the law is what we call it, right? Or
Yeah.
procedural justice is the other like key term that they'll throw
Hmm.
around.
Yeah.
But that is kind of the only way to do legal. You run into
Sure.
a ton of issues when you do it. You piss off people all the time. But as
Hmm.
long as your pattern of behavior is lawful
Consistent
and,
and
and,
lawful.
and
Yeah.
consistent, you're
Right.
mad today. You're not going to be mad tomorrow.
Right.
Just give me a tip.
Yeah.
In
Exactly.
places like American Forks, or in places where there's places here in Texas, right? Heck, McAllen's 98% Hispanic.
Okay.
I
Wow.
believe that's a homogenous Mexican
Right.
society right there,
Exactly.
right? Like that is
Hmm.
Mexico just on the other side of the border, right?
Yeah.
They can have community buy-in. They can have community representation, and they're going to get a very unique style of law enforcement that's going to conform to their societal norms, and it'll be very effective, I think,
Interesting.
because it's conforming to that societal expectation, right?
Uh-huh.
They're going to smile. They're going to eat at the pachanga. You know what I mean? Like they're going to be cool with loud noise complaints at Thursdays and be like, hey, man, it happens, man.
Yeah. We chill.
It's a king sale. Like, what do you want from me, dude? Like what do you
Interesting.
expect? Versus, I have to have a flat policy when it's like depending on the situation. Like I'm just enforcing policy at this point.
Hmm.
I could see different communities
Huh.
wanting different solutions, but like and it's not
Yeah.
universal. I really think good law enforcement relationships cannot look uniform, which is why like I'm very against like
Mhm.
the federalization of law enforcement. A lot of people are asking for that or for like a set standard, and I'm like,
Yeah. Doesn't quite work that way.
cops in American Forks wouldn't make it in a lot of other places. You just simply wouldn't.
Oh, I mean, I
You get
believe it,
fired. Yeah.
but
Um,
doesn't that mean that we
l-
should have some little higher standards here, though?
right. Well, and my point being
Oh.
is that the only way you probably get it is through that community buy-in. The only way you probably get it is by having that.
Because if we
that
show
open and
we
active
want
dialogue.
that here, we're
Right,
not
right.
okay with this. We
and
work
you-
differently here. Because
Right,
I mean, I
right.
guess what
And
you're
you-
saying is like technically, like cops do work differently everywhere.
right.
You know?
Well, and the issue is influence, right? So, and there's been a lot of accusations that have gone on, and I try to stay out of most of that, but there's a lot of accusations that say that they are representative of the influence that's happening on them from the Mormon church that's currently there, which is an undeniable influence within huge parts of Utah. Like the
Yeah.
political influence that church has in that area is
Oh,
undeniable. In
yeah.
the same way the Catholic Church has it in some places, Baptist churches have it in some places. Like that's going to happen, right?
Mhm.
The Constitution was designed for combating that very problem. Of like, there's now a private institution or an NGO
That's
or
trying to
even just a
take over.
subculture that is unfairly applying the law to certain places. That's really where the Constitution
Yeah.
was designed to protect.
Mhm.
So like,
Makes sense.
all of that being said, it should still be constitutionally based, but like the way that they interact with the public should be governed by that.
Yeah. Did you
Um,
want to address this tip that you got?
I'm looking as how does Provo charge Ben for trespassing when he was in a common space of the building? Bricks Minifigs building owner and an authority video clearly shows the conversation was the hall. So as a great question. So criminal trespass in general, it's not perfectly uniform, but the concept around it's almost universal here. So a criminal trespass warning. So Heidi has a house, right? And let's say at Heidi's house, let's put her in an apartment complex. This is a better analogy, right?
Okay.
She doesn't own the apartment complex, but you're a resident there, right? And so if there is a like gathering place in that apartment complex, can I be criminally trespassed from that if my issue's only with Heidi? Hell yeah. It's a privately owned place. The easiest rule of thumb is if there's air conditioning there, you can probably be criminally trespassed from it. Public buildings are very different because this is taxpayer paid for things, right? If it's a Walmart, if it's a commercial building, if it's something like that, if I'm providing air conditioning, that means that I probably own it. I'm not air conditioning a thing I don't own, right? That's crazy expensive and whatever.
Interesting.
There's also a legal concept called curtilage. You'll have to Google curtilage. But basically, curtilage is attached parts of that property. This is going to be like a front yard or like a driveway or something like it. Depending on if it's residential or commercial, there's a lot of commercial buildings that own their own parking lots. So they maintain and build and own their own parking lot space. You can be commercial, like even though you have public access to it, they are still allowed to control who goes in and out of it.
Sure.
Right. So they don't necessarily have to have a gate on something or a locked door on something to be criminally trespassed from it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely look that up.
Yeah. Once you get, I'm getting a cat. Once you get here, I'll let Shalon say hi to the
featured guest. This is really why we're here, everybody.
This is why we're here. Say hi to the kitty. There you go.
Beautiful.
Okay, we'll put her down. She's a mess. But once you're on public land, which is going to be sidewalks, streets, and all that stuff, you can't be criminally trespassed from those. That is made for the public to have access to it. Parks can get a little weird, right? Like parks, technically, you can be prohibited from depending on your status and what happens.
Is it another like if it's interruption or something?
Right. You're starting to get into the whole disruption side of it.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a criminal trespass, but you're being arrested due to your behavior being disruptive.
Sure. Okay.
So he's saying, okay, follow up. The owner in your scenario is the management company. Would they have to issue the trespass? It depends. So it's a policy thing. Normally, I'm 100% with you that if it's going to be from the whole building, right? Even though Heidi's apartment's the only one I really have issue with, and she's the one complaining to me. If in her policy, if they say, if I'm not a resident, any one of my residents can criminally trespass you from the building, they can do that. It's called vicarious authority.
So I wonder if that's the case in the Provo location. Or is it Orem or Provo? Provo?
Yeah. I think it's Provo is where that was at.
The store was in Provo. The corporate is in Orem. Yes?
And so if now it gets complicated when you start saying, well, we're going to now criminally trespass them from every single location we possibly own. I think that's unreasonable.
Can you do that?
No.
Okay.
No, and mostly because the issue is they don't have, the issuing agency does not have jurisdiction over all of those other places. Every single individual jurisdiction will have to individually trespass him from every single one of those properties.
Right.
Because like if Heidi, right, is there in Utah and she has jurisdiction there in Utah to do the criminal trespass, she can't do it here in Texas.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Even if we share, like you and I are in a partnership and we both own these buildings collectively, we high five as an LLC and we're cool kids, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't change the fact that
I'm in charge of the
Utah
Utah
to do
one.
It in Utah. And, I have to do it in Texas. It's a whole other. Now you're going to tie them together just so that they can have associated, like, this is a pattern of behavior. It's going to empower those officers to more quickly. Right. They'll at least understand the subtext and like the background stuff of what's going on, but the authority does not change. And especially in small municipalities, the Orem headquarters, if they had an American Forks location, American Forks is going to have to issue the CT there in American Forks, even for the same company, even though they're very close to each other. By Texas standards, are down the street, right? But like they are not one and the same, even though they're the same entity, even though the warning's being applied to the same person. The way that that's legally written up, a police officer has to be present to actually witness it, right? So you can't just say, well, I warned him and he didn't leave. Well, it was
there's like a more official process to trespass somebody.
Right.
So this is something I don't know about.
Yeah. So like police officer have to see it get issued. I have to witness it happen.
So how does it get issued? Like you're there and the person says, I'm trespassing this person?
Yeah.
That's the issue. Okay.
That's enough.
Okay,
That's enough right there.
Interesting.
Now, the weird part about it is I can't detain you for it and I can't force you to identify yourself. Normally, the way this works
Uh-huh.
is that I'm going to put you in a criminal trespass log, right? So Ben, you're, trying to kick Ben out of your apartment complex, right? I am there. Ben hasn't left, so I showed up and I see that both of you guys are here, right? You tell Ben that you want him gone in front of me. I say, okay, well, Ben, you can't come here ever again or you're going to go to jail. Now, I'm going to try my best to identify that person because I'm going to have a log that we keep as a municipality, right? I'm going to have a log of who's trespassed from that location and he's trespassed for forever, right? If in a week he shows up, I need to have him on that log for me to arrest him for criminal trespass or have an officer agree, yes, that's the guy that got criminally trespassed. It's harder when you don't have, it's not impossible, but it's harder to do it if you don't have them fully identified. You can verify this through like text messages and like video evidence that like this is the same guy with the same haircut. He identified himself as Ben. He was criminally trespassed. In a subsequent time, he showed up after being criminally trespassed.
So now
on
we
private
can
property.
take action.
Now we can take him.
Okay.
Now he's arrested. Now I can get him identified and all that stuff, and it becomes easier. But
sure. Interesting. Thank you, Taco, by the way.
Yeah, I cannot, as a police officer, trespass somebody for you. You have to do it, but I have to witness it.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, so that common, even though it's a common area, it's still a private building, and likely as part of that building's like policy, because like let's say Bricks and Minifigs only owns that suite or only rents that suite from the building owner, which is likely the case. Law firms do this all the time.
Yeah,
it's almost universally part of the like a leasing agreement that you have vicarious authority to criminally trespass someone from the property.
Yeah, but
property's big hole. That's going to be the parking lot, the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. But so for example, and in a second, I think we should read Bane's message. But going off of that really quickly, the experience of like Ben going and Ammon being like, okay, you need to leave. And like Ben didn't leave. I've had a problem with that, but I guess that wasn't really official until like the cops could have arrived and then seen Ammon say that. So okay, that definitely changes my opinion about that. That's interesting. Okay, this is why we talk about the things.
So him leaving before law enforcement showed up, you could not establish a trespass warning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now we can talk about harassment, sure.
Is it the moral thing to do? Maybe not.
Right,
yeah.
Right. So but legally we can legally discuss harassment being the case if he made it at least known, because in Texas at least, you've said as much, Ben, I don't want you talking to me anymore, please go away.
Sure.
That doesn't count as a criminal trespass warning because I wasn't there.
But like more of a civil.
We now have we've
and
documented.
the harassment can become like a
you are not consenting to the communication anymore, and he's continuing to do it. That's enough.
Yeah.
It'd be wild. Okay. That's kind of wild, but that's enough, right?
Okay.
It's a low-level misdemeanor harassment charge, but I can see you are allowed to control people's communications with you, and consent's important, right?
Okay.
Now, to X-Bane's point, and that Florida's universally weird. Florida law, just in general, always drives me up the wall.
Okay.
Dude, there's so many things in Florida that I'm just like, why is it this way? Like, it is not this way everywhere else in the country.
Okay.
But they are saying that they grant the sheriff's office vicarious authority universally. So this is likely having to deal with the way that their state constitution is derived. So there is the Constitution, right, which is the federal constitution, which limits the authority of the federal government and develops a framework for how you should set up your state law. Now, state law does have a lot of variation. Now, all of it has to be less restrictive than the Constitution is, but it can be specific, right? Florida, my guess, this is a total guess, but my guess is that Florida's Constitution allows for, if you're in a county, let's say American Forks was a county, right? So you got a bunch of little cities within it. They could say part of your like deed agreement for owning a piece of property is signing off that ability to, or consenting to the county being able to do criminal trespass warnings on your behalf. That would have to be outlined within something like that. Generally, most states are not that way. The police have to be there, and their rationale is like everybody would be like, it's an easily abused thing. Right. And I wouldn't want to see most of it here is in Texas. The posture is I need a victim for a crime. I don't want to just start throwing crimes out because, again, super diverse. population, super big population. So like I don't want cops just being able to apply their own bias when they see fit. I need a victim to be present, and I need a victim that's going to ask for law enforcement involvement, and then that officer gets involved. If that doesn't happen, leave people the hell alone. It's kind of the policy that we have here in Texas. So
I mean,
but it is different.
I think it makes sense, right?
Yeah. And it's a
as far as I have thought through it.
Very ironically, it's a very like libertarian perspective for a very conservative state to have, but it comes from a private property, mind your own business kind of posture. Despite like Texas is understandably like or by reputation, a relatively conservative space, right? We're the buckle of the Bible Belt, if you want to call it that. But there is a very real strong stance on, I don't want the government getting involved in my business unless I ask them to. And that's kind of why criminal trespass warnings work the way they do. It's all very much they can be designated as an authorized person. Interesting. All deputies have authority to trespass any person from this property. Oh, so you can give authority. That makes more sense. That's wild. I mean, technically, like, you got to imagine, like, if someone breaks into your house, you don't have to be there for me to arrest them. I'm just going to be like, so you're in a house taking stuff and you had to kick in the front door? I have probable cause to believe that this is a burglary. I find out later it's like your ex being weird. That's one thing, right? I got to figure out if he's got established residency. So is this burglary? But right then and there, dude's going to jail. You kicked in a door, you're taking stuff, as opposed to just reorganizing for spring cleaning. A reasonable person would assume you're burglarizing the structure.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure out the relationships in the back end.
Interesting. That also reminds me of the guy in the parking lot in the American Fork, like what, Walmart parking lot or something. The video that you watched where he was like trying to get into the car, but it was like that's his car, right? Or something like that. Yeah. Anyway.
It was his girlfriend's car. And he just didn't have the keys, so he was trying to figure out if like any of the doors were open. Some Karen called it in, and like
got tackled.
No questions were asked. I was like,
that's the kind of stuff where it's like, okay, I'm seeing that in my own city. I'm like, what can we do about this to prevent that?
Right.
Anyway,
and
fascinating.
That's really, I truly believe that there should be a way to delicense peace officers based on public complaints.
Interesting.
Like, hey, I maybe can't charge you because the DA is not going to want to do it, but we get, I don't know, 20,000 signatures from residents.
Yeah.
Decertify them.
Yeah.
Because it's your city. You know what I mean? Like, you should get to pick who gets to work there. And like, I don't know. The lack of decertification that happens in situations like that, where you're like, hey, do people make mistakes? Sure.
But like, is this guy just making mistake after mistake? And the
fact that they tripled down on that pissed me off. I was like, your supervisor's there that didn't think like, so what do you got?
Like, let's step back for a second. Yeah, exactly.
Who's a victim of this crime?
Thank you.
Oh, we don't have one? We don't have a crime? We don't have a victim? We just jack the dude up for fun? Like, cool.
Cool. You know, that's fine, I guess.
That's fine.
Yeah. Jeez. So right now there is nothing in place where like public opinion can, I mean, I'm sure that maybe like a chief of police can make a call because they see. Yes. I mean, I don't know. That's not illegal, right?
No. So municipalities specifically, which American Forks is one, right? It's a city. I mean, the city manager can get them fired if they really want to. Like, technically, the mayor could say, you need to get rid of that cop.
Yeah.
And the chief has to do it.
Okay.
And he could say, well, if you won't do it, then you're gone too. No? Okay, bye. You work on behest of the city.
Yeah. Turn over the entire department. There we go.
Yeah. It's an elected official that is literally, kind of like what we talked about at the city hall, meant to represent the interest of the public that voted him in.
Yeah.
That's unique to city police officers, right? County's a little different. Because county, you vote for the sheriff, right? So he's the elected official. They can kind of damn near do whatever the hell they want because they're voted on, right? Police chiefs aren't voted on. Yeah. Well, you got to think, you get a chance to vote. So technically, you can vote him out if you hate what he's doing.
Oh,
or you go.
I mean, that's not like what do you call that? It's not impeachment. Like you can.
So that there's a vote of no confidence that you could do, and then it's kind of like an impeachment. You can.
Right. It's the idea
would require the state police to step in. It's kind of the whole function of state police is like, hey, either it's unincorporated land, which means there is no county or municipality that wants to like own the responsibilities for running the land, and or I call them just in-betweener areas. So you have like interstate highways and stuff like that. State police officers tend to just patrol in those areas and do police services where they're not available otherwise. But they also have divisions. Here we have DPS, then we have the Texas Rangers, which are the like investigative arm of our state patrol.
They sound cute. I mean, just the word Rangers
it's
is
cool.
like so
it's,
cute.
it's cute.
Anyway,
it's cute as hell. But they go and investigate local police departments and stuff like that. And if a cop has to get arrested, and it's like especially like a police chief, it tends to be the Texas Rangers that'll come in and do that investigation.
Interesting.
Or like again, you have an officer involved shooting, right? Sorry, I'm not going to let you investigate yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That, right?
Yeah.
We're going to let another
outside
agency come in.
perspective. Yeah.
A lot of times it'll be the county, especially in bigger cities, like bigger areas like here. But if it's out in the middle of nowhere, it'll be the Texas Rangers that'll come in and do that investigation. Because there's a criminal investigation that has to happen on the shooting itself, right? And then you have the only one where they investigate themselves is going to be for policy violations. It's not a criminal investigation. That's you're an employee here and you did an act. I need to see that if it's within policy.
Sure.
So but that's really common. So you could go like if you felt that the mayor was not acting in favor of what you'd like to see out of American Forks Police Department, you vote the mayor out.
Yeah.
And whoever runs against that mayor is going to say, we're going to fix American Forks Police Department.
Exactly. And then hopefully they actually do.
I think you would crush. Yeah, I think you would crush on something like that.
Yeah.
But given how that PR is
all right,
gone,
Daniel.
But
do it. Run for mayor.
Dude, no. I will endorse it.
I love it. I did take a picture of your comment, Daniel, because past mayor fired a chief of police and it created a split between the mayor and the city council. It's very interesting. I want to learn more about that. Does that mean we need to like get on to city? Do we need to have somebody investigate the city council? I mean, like what do we do? Anyway.
Okay. The reason why flock cameras and data centers get built is city councils. You want to talk about
they're
like,
the
where
ones
the
like
evil,
spearheading it or
the evil's happening? It's this. So because the problem with city council, like zero oversight. There's zero like problems too. Like you want to talk about like qualified immunity? I could pass a bill or a charter or a policy or whatever that says we're going to build a data center and a brothel. I'm going to ruin your water. And I'm going to go on this really nice vacation in Hawaii where this company is going to give me an all expense paid thing and make sure that I don't get taxed on it. So I need to make an extra $100,000 to make sure that I don't have to pay taxes on any of this. Perfectly legal in a lot of places.
Yeah.
And scummy.
Yes.
Like, and of course,
correct.
if I'm a big company, I can either go through the process of having to individually buy out all these private like homes and stuff like that, or pressure a city council to go eminent domain and force people out of their homes. It's still for money, but it's not good money, right? For whatever the hell I want to do as the Wayland-Yutani Corporation or whatever. It's a problem. Yeah.
That sounds like a problem that I'm not even like familiar with.
Oh, dude, city councils. That's a whole deep dive.
Interesting.
I'm involved in like my local ones, and like there's a lot of drama that even happens at my local level. But if you real change happens there, because that's where like businesses even get like you could get BAM kicked out of your city if the city council is like, you know what, they need to go, gone, because they would just say we're not going to renew your business license. You can't do business here.
You guys are being ridiculous.
They could damn near force a lot of that stuff to happen. And they have a lot more power. One of the most famous is LA counties. They have, what do they call them? Gosh, it's like a chamber of commerce basically for LA County, and they're responsible for like $500 billion or something crazy. Like they're the most powerful city council like on the planet, damn near. Because it's a municipality, it's a county, but also the municipality of LA has just so much money. Because it's just the tax base, you know. They're responsible for billions of dollars a year. So it's like, yeah,
City
they're
council. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off your sentence.
no,
I
you're good. You're
apologize.
good. No, it's just
How do you get on city? Do you just volunteer
they're
or like
elected. No,
they're
you're
elected? How, I
Yep.
don't know if I ever remember electing somebody for city council, but I probably just haven't really paid much attention to that.
So they're typically going to be council chairs. Is kind of what they'll be. So in local elections, you're going to have your mayoral race, right?
What?
The city manager.
What's mayoral? Sorry.
So like your mayor, like a mayoral candidate is going to be the mayor,
okay.
right?
I'm like, what is this weird word?
Yeah.
Mayoral. Okay.
So yeah, so the mayor gets voted for typically. The
Sure.
city manager's typically hired. Again, mayor's going to hire a city manager. Typically, you don't vote oftentimes for that. I'm sure there's variation on that. But then you have chairs for the city council. You will typically say like, and they tend to run together as like homies, right? So you'll say, hey, vote for seat 8 or seat 9 or seat whatever. And then all of those chairs, let's say you have 12 in your city council, right?
Okay.
They will have individual responsibility. One will be the treasury. One will probably sit over like the superintendent for your school district. One will sit over like public works.
Zoning.
Another one will sit zoning. The zoning commission's a huge one, right?
Yeah, that's the one we've had to deal with.
Seat.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the zoning commissions, those are chairs basically. So everyone's got because you're going to have like a charter in which that's how you establish a municipality. You'll have like a charter. So you'll say, hey, we want to be a town. Your state's going to say, well, you have to meet this criteria to become a town. A lot of this stuff happened in like the 1800s for most of us here.
For sure.
But that they developed a charter. There's sometimes amendments to that charter as you go. And then they'll establish whatever the rules are for how you vote and how many chairs they have and how they're separated. And there's a ton of variation on what that looks like depending on the city and the state. But very, very powerful seats. But that's where all like the sketchy. Here, would you like an apple pie? Ignore the $10,000 in that. I need
Lots
you to
of,
grant the contract to my
lobbying
company.
kind of stuff going on.
Yeah,
which I hate. I hate that idea.
Well, and this is kind of why I get frustrated with you get stuff like APAC, right? Where you have federal money that is now getting trickled down at the local level because there's something that's happening in your jurisdiction that has national implications. And so you'll have someone from Washington sending funding to a local person because they want them to get elected.
Yeah. And it's like, ooh, more funds, help our city. Like,
right. And from a political standpoint, like that's kind of where the Democratic and the Republican Party have existed for so long, unbroken, is if you run as a Republican, part of that agreement is I'm going to vote.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote a certain way. So when I got to go get the signs and the T-shirts and the mailers and all that stuff, I'm getting federal, sometimes state, often federal money to go do it from these huge super PACs that are trying to influence, because obviously local elections will affect state elections will affect national elections. So they're not stupid, but I find it gross because there are certain things that only affect that city that should be getting voted on by what's important to the people there, not how it fits in the bigger like federal scheme of their political party or affiliation.
Sure. Interesting. Grey Wolf, I didn't realize that you're in Provo. That's cool. That's super cool.
Dude,
I like finding local people.
Yeah, civics in America is wild. Yeah, that's a wild time.
Yeah, very interesting. Let's see. Okay. So, I mean, so you're saying that like kind of teaching de-escalation is, I don't know, it would be really interesting to, I don't know, explore a little bit more about maybe like on-site training that might be useful, because like focusing on de-escalation rather than like kind of forceful tactics, or maybe I don't know if you've seen like fear-mongering tactics in police training. Is that a thing? Because I know I've seen like examples, but anyway.
So their fear-mongering's a thing, right? And people talk about like handcuffs being torture cuffs, and I was like, trust me, I would love a better way to restrain a person. Technically, zip cuffs are more comfortable.
Okay.
But I would argue probably a little less humane. It's literally just zip ties designed to be handcuffs.
Yeah, just because what it's like.
Don't be weird.
Wait, why would it be less humane? I'm so sorry. Am I too naive?
No. In my opinion, specifically with zip cuffs, they have to get cut off. Like once they're on, they're on. Like they ain't no getting them off the easy way. So I'm gonna have to take medical shears and physically cut these things off of you. Also, they don't move as much depending on how tightly. You also cannot loosen them. They do nothing. But
so
there
if
is
you
no,
zip tie
like,
it, then it
feature.
could be a lot more painful. Or
right, I basically could tourniquet your wrist on accident, especially if you're pulling away from me and I'm pulling on. Handcuff design hasn't changed in a long time, but the rationale behind handcuffs is it's a reliable means of keeping you detained or effectively controlled, right? They call them torture cuffs because everyone's adopted the posture of they're not meant to be comfortable. And I was like, well, the more you fight against handcuffs, the more uncomfortable they're going to be. That's the reality of it. But handcuffs by design are lockable in the sense that they won't get tighter, because if they get too tight, they absolutely will cause nerve damage and all that stuff, especially if you're stuck in these things for hours, right? Which can happen. If they're too loose and you just slip them, even if it's theoretically on accident, I could charge you with escape, which is a felony in a lot of places, which is an issue, right? Then technically you have a weapon. If you're a scummy police officer, you could leave them too open. You slip them. I say you have a weapon. Now I'm pointing a gun at you. When you're like, yo, they just fell off. Don't shoot me. Like handcuffs are a very complicated. Restraint devices are complicated in general. De-escalation, in my opinion, is just like qualified immunity, is a very misunderstood thing. Where qualified immunity, most people think it's a criminal thing. It's only civil. That only allows you to sue that officer.
Right. Yeah. Cool. And I learned about that. Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe you'll get some money out of it, but like that doesn't change the conduct, especially if he gets like an insurance policy against that, then they don't care at all. They're just going to keep doing it.
Interesting.
De-escalation, because sometimes this is going to be weird. De-escalation is a principle, not really a tactic. Because technically, if I'm holding you hostage, right, and I'm counting down from 10. So let's say I got Heidi. I'll have your husband hostage. I'll give it to you. I'm going to play you in the scenario, right?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I have your husband hostage, right?
That's better.
You're Heidi, bunny rabbit police officer here. You got a gun and a badge, the whole nine. You're here to rescue your husband. I put a knife to his neck and I start counting down from 10. 9, 8, 7, 6. At what point? What is your de-escalation tactic there?
Right. I mean, if you try and talk to them and they don't stop counting, then I guess
5,
right.
4.
Well, that's
3.
That's the thing, though, where it's like per situation. Obviously, de-escalation isn't always going to be the solution.
No. So technically, de-escalation at that point in time would be a bullet through my forehead, right?
Exactly.
Theoretically, because you're trying to preserve life, and that's the argument there. That's why that power is enumerated there. But the de-escalating principle here is.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't be
hasty. Don't be hasty.
But the goal here in de-escalation as a principle is I want to create safety as quickly as I can with hurting the least amount of people.
Yeah.
And so if that principle is being applied in that environment, I'm giving reckless abandon. I am wanton disregard for your husband's safety. I'm counting down, demonstrating that I am committed to using force, right? This report's going to be long and fat, but you're going to say it was an imminent threat to his life. And as an attempt to de-escalate the situation, bullet through forehead.
Right.
It's the quickest way I could do it, right?
Exactly.
Now, let's say husband's gone and now I have it on my wrist, right? What's a de-escalation tactic? I'm going to cut my wrists. 10, 9, 8.
Interesting.
So as I'm counting,
see this, I need training in de-escalation because I'm like, I don't know.
Well, the principle, because the training, the problem with people is they assume training is going to give them the solution, and it's not. Training should emphasize a principle, not a solution, because solution-based answers are never applied universally. Every
situation is different.
It's different, right? So mechanics will appreciate this. If I need to go do a brake job, what tools will I need? And they'll go down the list. I need this ratchet, this wrench, this whatever. Well, what happens when you're up north and there's rust? Well, damn, I need to bring an acetylene torch, and I need to bring all this extra stuff. I now have to have, a tap set because I've stripped out this bolt. There's a bunch of dumb stuff you have to bring that normally you wouldn't have to have for a brake job. Right. Just because the environment has rust. policing is very much like that. Tactics, air quotes, or de-escalation training is like that, and that the principal's going to say, let's ask a quick question. Who's going to get hurt? Right now that I'm holding a knife to my wrist, just me. Okay, what crime is he committing?
Right.
I mean, in Texas, theoretically, suicide's a crime. In
some places, it's a crime. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But theoretically, I don't want to exacerbate that situation. So the de-escalation principle says, who's going to get hurt and what crime are they committing? Well, only him, and he's not committing a crime. So the principle says, isolate him and back off and try to talk to him. Here's where Heidi gets to go woosah and, hey, man, like, just talk to you. You're about to scar me for life, dude. You must at least talk to me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
There's
versus I got husband here. The principle, what crime is being committed? Who's going to get hurt? Husband's going to get hurt. He's about to get hurt right now.
Yeah.
Principle says, hey, de-escalation means putting a bullet in that guy.
Yeah,
right?
That's not the solution. Like de-escalation is not the answer right now.
And so like the training around that one needs to be principle based, right? So I think the most effective one that I've experienced has been scenario training, which is crazy expensive. So like if I was running you through de-escalation training, it'd be a bunch of those scenarios.
Yeah.
I'd give you off the wall scenarios. I would give you, because it would force you to think, hey, Heidi, what do we teach you?
Which is good practice.
Who's going to get hurt? Yeah. Who's going to get hurt? What crimes being committed, right?
Yeah. Make that a habit.
Get those reps. Right.
Yeah.
But then you'll show up and it's like, hey, I'm walking my dog and I'm pissed off because the Cowboys lost, because of course it's the Cowboys and they lose games, right? And I'm near a highway. You know, pedestrians technically aren't supposed to be on highways. You're intervening because you're like, hey, you can't be out here, especially with your dog. Like, I want your dog to get hit or you to get hit. I'm pissed because the Cowboys lost. And I'm like, if you know, you're not even from here. You don't understand my culture. You don't understand. It's going to ruin the rest of my week. You know, and what's the de-escalation principle here? Well, try not to touch him. That's going to piss him off more probably, right? He is committing a crime theoretically, and if he starts trying to run out in the roadway, I can forcibly detain him to prevent him from doing that.
Yeah.
But I'd like to take a couple of extra steps and maybe ask a couple of questions, because the principle being applied is, again, crime and harm.
Who's going to get hurt right now? Do we have the time to think about it?
That's a huge oversimplification of what that looks like. But most of the time, people don't get reps. So if you've ever played a video game, right? You play something like League of Legends or whatever, you can understand how the move combination is supposed to work or what the little blinky red thing on the boss is supposed to mean. But successfully accomplishing that task takes reps. And you'll die, you have to restart the level, or you'll die. Like, all of those reps are very expensive to provide. It really can only be done in like I said, like scenario-based training, or worse, you're learning in the streets, which is the worst place to learn. But most of where people do.
Not ideal, but
I think it's kind of where it's actually something that we're currently working on now on my side of the fence, is like, how do I develop funding to get subject matter experts in these fields to provide these scenario training? Because like, imagine you and I, you know, like, I'm your gay best friend and I'm mad because you're breaking up with me over a book club. And that's going to be our scenario, right? So someone's going to show up and say, is this a domestic? He's like, no, gay best friend. Like, we are not in a romantic relationship. We're not even roommates. He's just over for a book club.
Yeah.
You're going to force that officer, because the scenario we're giving him is weird. You're like, normally Brain would say domestic, but we didn't ask the right questions. So it's an auto fail if you're trying to arrest us for domestic assault, right? Or something like that, right? It's like, she can criminally trespass me from her apartment. I don't live there. I'm gay best friend. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? And so like that, giving officers that rep in a controlled environment with subject matter, because you're going to know, because you have the training, right? In the scenario, I am friend. This is my apartment. They need to be asking me these questions. The person I'm going to play is like really pro police, where like I'm going to be a big scumbag and hate cops outright. I'm going to be like damn near like someone weird, right?
Yeah.
I don't answer questions. I don't talk to police, and like, you're very cool, but secretly, I don't know, you're armed with a handgun and I'm weird or something like that. Like, you can throw all these curveballs, but like the more reps they get in that, in a safe environment, they get the feedback, and then they can apply that experience in real world. That's really,
you think that's pretty effective?
Oh, very effective. Yeah. You could see the difference in officers that have had that level of scenario-based training versus the ones who haven't.
Okay.
You'll see day one officers crush
Yeah.
scenarios like that versus, and I have proof of that. I have body cam of when I was in field training, getting stuck with like a super short stick and crushing it. And that's not because I was a really good cop. It's because I had very, very good training. But that training was incredibly expensive. Again, $1.1 million per cop.
Yeah.
For the kind of training that we were getting.
I just want us to have that. Yeah. But I understand tax dollars and stuff like that. But maybe one day.
Nonprofits could fill that gap. You could say, hey, if the Mormon Church really cares about promoting de-escalation, I'd like to see funding.
That would be
for
cool.
a nonprofit that's going to go and teach these officers how to. But you know what I mean? Is that unreasonable?
Right, it's not wrong, but I mean, I don't know what's reasonable or not. But
like that's to me, I think either a third party could do it. You would need some law enforcement oversight just to have the experience there. But I do think that de-escalation training, hard air quotes on this, because there's not good training that's out there. Most of it's a slideshow. You're going to go through the PowerPoint. You're going to check all the boxes. You're going to answer the questions at the end.
Right.
You've been de-escalation certified.
It's better than nothing, but it's not enough.
You still paid for it as a taxpayer, right?
It's fair.
Like for it to be
I'm
like
sure
a substandard
it is
thing.
Better than absolutely nothing.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But
I think
maybe not much.
the only other side of that coin is going to be culture. In general, American Fork says we do things differently this way, right? And it's a very us versus them mentality. I do believe that American policing in general used to be much more like customer service oriented, and that like I am a public servant. They didn't get paid for shit. I'm doing it for free, right? Purely for the love of the game.
We appreciate. Yeah.
No, and that's not for a kudos, because that's just like I'm trying to influence culture. Yeah. So when I have a cop sitting next to me who's a salaried employee, he's an hourly guy, right? And he's getting mad, I get to look at him and shame, hey, I'm here for the love of the game. You're getting at least paid to be here. I need you to. It is not an unreasonable thing for me to ask you to have a better culture or attitude towards solving these issues, right? But like that's a cultural issue. So if you're going to do culture changes, that's going to have to come internally. You can promote it. Right, like technically, what you're doing here is promoting that, like which I love you for, and your audience for it. But like, but promoting that or nurturing that, it's kind of like what you want to see in your spouse. Like your spouse does something that's cool, you try to reward that behavior as often as you can. Yeah. Because you're like, hey, I can either nag you on the stuff I don't like, or just emphasize the stuff I do want to see. Which one's going to be more productive for us collectively, right?
Right, like child psychology, I think.
Right.
The positive reinforcement is way more effective and makes more change. Right. Yeah, it applies to
works
adults.
For adults. Yeah,
absolutely.
And so I think changing that police culture from this us versus them, or also like I'm fighting the battle you don't know exists, or whatever it is, to like hey, like I'm a public servant. The best example I'll give is the military. Military doesn't pay shit. Like all military service members while they're in are broke. A bunch of brokies. Right?
Okay.
Idiots doing really hard jobs, like hard thankless jobs. But they do it because for them, they're doing it for the service side of the fence. Now, do some of them go and take that and make a bunch of money on the back end and be vet bros? Sure. There's definitely like the exploitative side of it, right?
Yeah.
But like the general culture, they didn't fix their issue with culture by paying them more, or by adding more benefits or incentives.
Sure.
They just gave them better opportunities to serve. I think law enforcement's going to have to go back, because we're just trying to pay them more and give them benefits and signing bonuses and thin blue lining it more and saying, well, we got your back and all this stuff. Is like, no, we're going to give you opportunities to serve your community in a meaningful way. Now we want to compensate you for it.
Right.
We got to worry about the physical and all that other stuff.
Yeah, we care about that too.
Because that's a universal care. If I'm an employer, I should care about my employees, right? But I think seeing them go back to wanting to do the thing for the right reasons, I think would change the way that they look at themselves in those environments. Like, hey, this is me having to go do my duty to society, and if it's to put up with this drunk person, it's to put up with this drunk person.
Yeah. I really love that, because I think that attitudes really affect other attitudes, and so I think it's really easy. I mean, honestly, I found this I served an LDS mission back in my past life, and just like mission companions is just the two of you, it's really
Yeah.
easy to, say something maybe disrespectful about somebody that you're working with, or just kind of like
Yeah.
let loose within, each other's presence because you're not being watched or whatever. It's easy to kind of
Right.
just get relaxed and not hold yourself to the standard that the
Right.
people in charge of you are expecting you to. And so, yeah, just any one attitude can really affect the people around them. I think that's
I would,
great.
and this might be a fun exercise down the road years from now, but everyone I've ever given a ride along to, which is hilarious. Like they'll go, you have no police experience. You're just a regular person who's like, hey, you're going to go live a day in the life of a police officer. Right.
Mhm.
And so my brother was the funniest one. So my brother, I was like on the street for about a year and a half, and I worked in a very, we'll call it a busy area
Okay.
for law enforcement.
Sure. Mhm.
And I'm used to it because it's my job. And again, my frame of reference for wanting to be a police officer was I want to help the community and whatever. And he just thought it was cool. He was like, hey, cool, I get to go see cop stuff, and he's going to go code and whatever. He didn't make it 3 or 4 hours to that shift to who's already like, people are like this. And I'm like, oh yeah, like,
Ooh, wow.
welcome to my city, right? But when you're just
Nothing
there because like you just kind of want to be a voyeur, right? Just kind of see what's going on.
Mhm.
Your attitude shifts immensely. You look down on a lot of these people that you're, oh my God, like, why are you getting the cops called on you? Like, you can't just handle a domestic disturbance like without having the cops get involved. Cops are seeing it every day.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like, I understand why that negative subculture exists, which is why like kind of the posture in your heart should be different.
Yeah.
But like,
And you need
if people
reminders.
absolutely right. And I really think that like people that do ride-alongs tend to be a lot more sympathetic to police officers, but I don't like it because they become apologists for bad behavior. And that pisses me off.
Interesting. So being an apologist for bad behavior.
Right.
Like
think about it this way for like what not to get too crazy off topic here, but like what probably pushed you away from like the LDS community in general was apologies for bad behavior, generally speaking. And again, you would have functional disagreements with the theology and them not provide good enough answers and then say that you're the asshole for asking the question or something like that, right? And generally, and there's a ton of litany of other reasons why I think a lot of people end up being scarred by institutions like that. But like, had those mechanisms not been in place, let's say it was a friction, and this is a lot of people's experience, right? It's a frictionless environment. You're not experiencing some level of misconduct.
Oh, right.
People are being
Then
very
you'll just
good
stay
to
in
you. So why would you leave? Right? Like functionally, why would you leave?
Right.
Almost everyone, and this is a really good. I have theological debates all the time with people. But one of the things I talk to them about is like if your lens of which you look at your life does not survive a hard time, it really wasn't there to begin with. Right? Like it wasn't true or honest or real to you, right? And worse, when you're wrong and you're not willing to adapt to being wrong to that, or at least allowing that external opinion in and at least run it through your filter and figure out like you need to be receptive to the truth. Right.
Exactly.
And that can be weird. And that's an odd space
No,
to be in.
it's a hard thing to do.
Right.
But yeah, because for a long time you can just kind of like you hear all sorts of things and you're differing opinions, but you just don't let them. You have a shield up. Yeah.
And in a lot of those situations, people pick affiliation over the truth, or even worse, over like justice, right? And I was like, hey, sometimes you got to hang your neighbor, or sometimes you got to hang somebody that you would have looked up to as a mentor and stuff like that. But the idea is, if I have a very real victim, right, why would I let that victim suffer on behest of the brand or on behest of the organization or the reputation of the organization? Like, dude, like that to me is growth. That kind of apologist's perspective, like you can at least address when bad things happen in the name of XYZ belief system, right?
Right.
And as long as they're willing to be honest and navigate that space, I think that's the right way to do it. You tend to see the opposite almost universally in a lot of these people, like Cowboys fans. It's gonna be our year.
I mean, we're tribalist. People are very tribalistic, and
and I
they
think
want to belong. And,
cops are only more dangerous because they can take you to jail.
Right. Sure.
You might not be let back in to your favorite coffee shop in certain places without getting ugly looks, but like cops, it's a problem.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
cops are doing it. And that's a state paid for gang if they have bad subculture.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sorry. I think I'm still learning. I have to remind myself the definition of an apologist, because in my mind for like a long time it was like, oh, someone who apologizes for
Right.
it's just like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. They do this, you know. But it's
Yeah,
a
and yeah, because like theoretically,
not exactly
I would
that.
be considered a law enforcement apologist to some degree, right? And that I'm defending certain things that are happening by just contextualizing them. But to do
Mhm.
it in, I think, an ethical and rational way, you also have to call out misconduct. You also
Right.
have to like be being a how do I put this? I am more of a slave to the truth than I am to what makes sense to me or what I want it to be, if that makes any
Okay.
sense.
Okay.
And so like
I like that.
where I would love in an environment where the cops don't do any wrong and there's a very easy explanation as to why they shot this guy or whatever. But if the truth of the matter is not that, Sonia Massey was a great example of this. Just recently, the guy, he got back in the news. Basically, older lady calls 911. You guys can Google Sonia Massey. She's in there.
Yeah, I'll need
But
to.
calls 911. Deputy shows up. It was a non-call. She thought somebody was trying to get into her car. Somebody wasn't trying to get in her car.
Okay.
She's a little old, a little senile, right?
Okay.
They, for some odd reason, decide to go into her house. Now, I think she invites them, but either way, like this was a non-PD call. I'm sorry, ma'am, about your car. We checked it. It was nothing.
Yeah.
Bye. Gets into her house. Somehow they get into some sort of verbal argument. She goes to go grab a hot pot of water. He treats that as a threat and shoots this lady dead.
Oh.
And so it's like, okay, we went from a non-PD call to a fatal shooting.
Unnecessary.
Like, how did that happen, right?
Yeah.
And so didn't need to be in there, could have backed out. Again, de-escalation says, what crime is she committing? Who is she going to hurt, right?
Exactly.
And so I'm like, well, there was no crime afoot, so why am I even in this lady's house? And she's, even if she was unjustifiably arming herself in her own house, the hell am I doing?
What was I doing there? Yeah.
Right. I can get out, right?
Yeah.
So he ended up getting charged and prosecuted for the crime. I think he went, I think it was murder too. I don't think they did manslaughter. They got him for murder.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's sitting in prison now, right? And he got stage 4 colon cancer. I think he was sentenced to 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, I only got 18 months to live. I don't remember what they called it. It's basically like a merciful release. Like you're going to die anyways. They must
with
let you
your
out.
life, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. And they were like, hell no, you did the crime. You're going to do the time, even if you die in prison, right? That's what they ended up deciding on. Stage 4 colon cancer or not, you'll die from your colon cancer in prison, not at home comfortably with your family.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sonia Massey died, you're here.
Yeah.
So, but when that shooting first happened, it was fresh. Like the body cam came out, people were talking about it. Every single law enforcement channel, and it hurt me to see. But they were like, "Well, we don't know enough," and I was like,
Like,
"Do we not?
What do you mean we don't know enough?"
Well, and the full body cam was available. So rather than just saying, "I'm just going to look at this uncontextualized clip," why were we there to begin with? Mm-hmm. Now in 2025, Barnes v. Felix says we have to know why we're there.
Yeah.
Everything leading up to your use of force is important, at least on the civil side of the fence. I can almost guarantee you the criminal side of the fence is gonna be the next kind of stone to turn. You're not just gonna lose a little bit of qualified immunity. You're also going to start losing like lawful duty to retreat or whatever.
Sure.
So I watch it and I'm like, okay, leave.
Yeah.
Bye. 5 minutes before the shooting even happened, I was like, deuces, lady, like you're safe. Lock yourself in your house. If he comes back, call us.
Yeah, exactly.
Gone. I was gone 3 minutes into that call.
Yeah.
And I spent like, I was like, leave.
Yeah, get out.
Why
get
are you
out.
going to
Go.
this lady's
What
house?
are you doing?
Why are you doing? And
that would have been interesting to watch. You react to that.
If I can find the video, I'll pull it up.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
But the whole time I'm like getting mad. I was like, why are we still here?
Yeah.
And there was no red flags from this lady.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. It surprised me that she grabbed the hot pot of water and threatened to throw it on this guy, right? And is that serious bodily injury? Sure. Getting hot boiling water thrown on you would jack you up.
Let's avoid that.
Well, the problem is I don't have any lawful reason outside of your consent that I'm in your house. If Heidi decides in that moment that she wants me gone and grabs a hot pot of water to tell me to leave,
then
I gotta
you
leave.
leave. Yeah.
Even as the police, right?
Mhm.
Like, I'm not allowed to just decide that, well, I'm entitled to your house. How dare you threaten me? But
Ooh. Even though some
ego,
police officers would probably have that mindset
right,
that and
right.
not
And like
enabled. What's it called? Um oh my gosh.
enabled makes sense.
Not enabled.
Empowered,
Uh entitled. Entitled mindset.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's I'm the police. And like normally, if this was a domestic and she grabs a pot of water, I'd probably shoot Sonia Massey. She's lawfully
Right.
detained. The hell's she doing going somewhere? I had issue because he also let her, like, this lady's like 80 or something like that. She let her move around. I didn't let people go into kitchens while I was in their house in general. So I was like, hey, look, knives are in kitchens. I don't want to shoot
Let's
you. You don't want to
stay
stab
in
me.
a safe environment. Yeah. Interesting.
So if I had a detention, it was poor tactics at the very minimum. Does it make me look like a douchebag when I don't let you in your own kitchen in your own house? Sure.
Maybe.
But it's a de-escalation technique because I'm thinking to myself, right now, domestic assault, it's you and husband, not you and your gay best friend, right?
Yeah.
You guys are in a domestic partnership. There was a third-party complaint. I have a reason to detain everybody. A de-escalation technique is not letting Heidi to go grab her cup of coffee to go throw it in my face.
Exactly. Let's keep things.
It looks wrong. You're going to not like me for it. Like, why are you touching me in my own house? It's like, you're not getting in your kitchen. You're not going to let me move my own house? Damn right.
Yeah.
You got a problem with it? I'll put you in handcuffs and put you in the back of a patrol car. In the moment, I look like a douchebag.
It seems like, what is he doing?
But from a principle standpoint, you got to look at the Sonia Massey case in this case and be like, well, he found out that there was nothing and then we left.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I would rather the officer maintain that posture of safety,
right,
as long as he can do so in a manner that's not, destructive or Fourth Amendment violations and all that.
Sure. And
It's complicated though.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure everything is complicated in this work area for sure. As part of like de-escalation training, did you get like training on the tones to use with people, or because like you can share, and then I have my
ask the question.
Okay, so something that I've noticed just in my super inexperienced just viewing of body cam footage and things like that is like the way that police officers talk to people, I think can be very escalating. Like, get on the ground instead of being like, all right, get on the ground. Like, I don't know. Do you feel like a more calm voice could sometimes prevent some issues, or is that like a naive thing to think?
Yes and no.
Okay.
And again, I hate hitting the depends side of it, but I'll give examples as to both, and you'll see it from my perspective a little bit. So there's two wolves inside of every police officer, right? There's going to be the one that needs command presence, and what command presence is I show up and I'm in control, and I want that because again, I'm making sure the suspect's not doing something weird. I'm making sure the victim feels like a police officer has shown up,
is protecting them.
There's this odd like social expectation that the police show up and I'm safe now because the cops are here.
Interesting.
The second side of the fence is what you're describing here is the de-escalation side of the fence, where I have an obligation to keep the peace. Sometimes that means being the nice guy, right? There's also other reasons to be nice. That's a conversation for a different day. But like generally, if you don't have command presence, the situation's going to get away from you really, really quickly because it's like a teacher. Literally, what principal taught in childhood education, right, is you will lose your class day one. The strictest you need to be as a teacher is day one.
Yeah.
Because you can always become less strict, but you can never become more strict with kids. Because that first month,
you got to
kids
establish.
always line step you.
Yeah.
Right. Kids line step the hell out of you the second they first meet you. They're like, oh.
Yeah. I see a loophole or whatever. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Uncle Josh lets me have candy, but whenever I want. He also says yes to everything I ask him. I was like, no, you gotta be the bad guy first. Then you can be the cool guy for the rest of their life.
Yeah, true.
So in a law enforcement context, we are teachers for adults, right?
Yeah.
And so we have to establish right off the rip, I'm going to be in control of this situation. And if
I have
you have
authority
a problem with
right
that,
now.
we're going to have a problem, right?
Sure.
Now, you have to have lawful authority to do it. But generally, let's say we got a good crime, right? I watched, I'm gay best friend. I punched you in the face. That's at least assault. I got a crime here. I don't know if it's domestic, but it's at the very least an assault.
Yes.
Okay. The flip side of that is I do have to I call it mining for information. So Heidi being my victim, I just got punched in the face. If I'm a rude jerk to you, you're not going to want to talk to me.
Right.
So being kind makes a lot of sense. Also, I punched you in the face. So let's say I punched you in the face because I hate brunettes, right? I'm not going to get, and let's say it's a hate crime to hit brunettes, right?
Yeah. That is a hate crime.
it is a hate crime. But like, I'm not going to get that confession from you if I'm a jerk. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to have the rapport with you.
That was actually a question I had for you for later. Anyway, interesting.
Right.
Okay.
And so like the joke I always use is sometimes you got to get the bear with honey, right? But in general, I'm having to dance that line between making sure I'm not unnecessarily escalating the call, but I need to maintain a level of a posture of control. Because that's my job.
Are you taught that balance at all?
You cannot teach officer presence. That's the tough thing. But the joke, I love my wife to death. She's a magical, wonderful person, but she is relatively meek by the stereotypical perspective, like relatively introverted, not very outspoken, relatively shy.
Okay.
And so there's times where we're talking like in a group that I specifically ask, did you have something to add to that? Like I will, and I've had people think that's rude. And I was like, no, but I have to like go out of my way to deliberately give the floor to my wife. I'm extroverted. I'll just take it. Right.
Yeah. What?
She will not.
Did you guys know Josh was extroverted? That's crazy.
Yeah. But like I specifically and intentionally make an effort to give my wife the floor in a group conversation, or she'll just have to sit there for the whole, because she's too shy to step up and do it.
Sure.
She's smarter than I am. I think she's cooler than I am personally, but if you don't do that, it won't happen. The problem is like, will the group let me give her the floor if I don't have the command presence and the extroversion to do it? And then is that same person that has the extroversion to dominate a conversation going to have the perspective to make sure that my wife can speak? That's a simpler way of looking at it. But like, that's a hard thing to navigate. Yeah. Especially when it's having to come from the same person. So how do you train that?
I feel like there's a way. Bring some psychologists in or something. I don't know.
I think you can explain. I think you can explain the dynamic to someone. I think you can give them scenario-based training. There's some simple stuff like how you stand near someone. So like right now you're seated. And if I'm talking to you and you're feeling very vulnerable and scared,
maybe you sit down with them.
Yeah, me looming over you is not going to help, generally speaking. So getting down to your level is helpful, not a universe. I could get down on your level and be an asshole, and that's counterproductive, right?
Less intimidating asshole. There you go.
Right. There's also an issue with like exigency. So you just got stabbed.
Okay.
You're bleeding out. I'm doing currently emergency medical procedures on you to try to get you to survive. You know what I'm doing?
Oh, did you say negligency?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I heard egligency, and I'm like looking it up. I'm like, what does that mean? I
said
exigency.
No, exigency.
Exigency. I don't know what that means.
Don't ask me how to spell that. So exigency is like an emerging sequence of events that causes alarm, right? So like an exigent factor, if you want to call it that, right, is going to be like someone screaming behind a door, I'm going to die. Okay. So I develop exigency, or the need to like escalate my involvement in something, right?
Yeah.
Through those indicators, right? If I hear active gunshots happening, that's exigency. Oh shit!
You're not going to be like, "Excuse me, can I ask some questions?" You're going to be like, "Hey."
Right.
Okay.
There are suspensions of the Fourth Amendment for exigency. So the Fourth Amendment's going to say that you're allowed to be free from unlawful searches and seizures from law enforcement. There's also stuff like, or just the government, not just law enforcement, but the government as a whole. But also like cruel and unusual punishment. There's a lot of these protections that you get from the government, right? There's a reasonableness clause that gets applied to it. But generally the principle is the government cannot mess with you. Well, if a shooting's actively happening, and let's just say for some odd reason that Heidi decides that she needs to get my attention because she wants to give me a description, if I don't want it, I can stiff arm you into a bush. I've done it before. I felt bad doing it, but I was like, sorry, I have problems to solve.
Get out of my way.
We actually did it as a training. There's a really cool video. If I can find it, I'll share it. I got to take a really cool training class with Blue Bearing Solutions. Guy's name's Kyle Morgan, actually like action hero, human being. He's a cool guy.
Okay.
But when we did a training scenario, it was in his middle school. We had dozens of actors in this, and it was an active shooter training, right? So we had parents picking up students. We had kids. I'll find the link somewhere, or that, or one of my people in the chat will find the link and drop it.
There you go.
Intentionally, I got to be an actor for some of it, which is kind of fun. I
Nice.
put a tourniquet on myself poorly and would beg for someone to help me. And I would reach for these guys that are actively trying to engage a shooter, right?
Uh-huh.
I would grab their legs and stuff like that. I would grab at their belts and whatnot, and I'm begging for my life.
Yeah, they have to prioritize.
But they know if that tourniquet doesn't go on right, I probably die.
Oh.
Because you bleed out in minutes, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And I forced them to make that. They put a kid and their mom at the front door. You have to jump over them.
Yeah.
So there's a really cool like first person perspective of what they did there.
That's interesting.
But it feels weird because you want to, especially if you're like a good, honoring public servant. Hey, there's a kid here dying in front of their mom.
Right.
Too damn bad. Exigency says, go get that guy.
Yeah.
Because he's going to continue to make more kids to die in front of their mom if you don't stop the threat, right?
Interesting.
And so like, but in a training environment, we intentionally put those stimuli, is what we call them, right? Those stimulus were put in intentionally.
Yeah.
To force you to ignore the dead and the dying because there's still someone making more victims.
Yeah.
Then you can deal with everything else. Once you get that guy, you can deal with everything else. But that is a hard thing to untrain out of your brain.
Totally.
Because normally, help the guy. I've personally worked 2 specific stabbings and a shooting where as I'm helping this person, I'm screaming at him. What did they look like? What were they wearing? Because somebody shot him. Someone stabbed him.
Yeah,
they might die.
You need information.
This is the only time I might get to. There's no speak with the dead. It's not D&D, right? I have to just talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And so I'm putting on tourniquets or chest seals or whatever, and this guy's bleeding all over me.
Trying to get as much information out.
And it probably feels shitty to them.
Yeah.
That this guy that's supposed to be rescuing me is not one hurting me, because this is a painful thing if you've ever had to go through it. I'm sorry for anyone in chat if you've ever had to. But rather than, Heidi, it's gonna be okay. Like hold my hand,
comfort,
or whatever. Like rather than that, you get a very different Josh that's like, hey, bitch, I need you to lock in. Who stabbed you? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And like externally, I could totally see that's police misconduct. That guy's a scumbag. How dare he not be there for that woman? I was like, yo.
But it's like the bigger picture thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I mean is like, and I think that's where the training scenarios make sense.
Yeah.
Because I want to give them each take. You fell down. You snapped your leg in half.
Yeah.
It was a fall. Nobody pushed you.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're after the crime.
Heidi.
You're not after
grab Heidi's hand. Talk to, hey, EMS is almost here. Just breathe. Just breathe.
Oh, you're talking about a completely different scenario. I'm sorry. Yeah.
And in that situation, your leg broke.
Yeah, you have the attention, to give to them.
What's the crime? Who's getting hurt?
Exactly.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Be nice, Josh. Right.
Right.
But you got stabbed. And the guy's still on the loose. He might come up and stab me for all I know. Like if I don't know the information that I need to know, it could be the guy sitting right next to me that's acting like he's wanting to help you. And when I'm like, who stabbed you? And you give me one of these, like, well, about that. I'm like,
hold on.
I need to be pulling my gun. Hold the phone.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of what I mean is like that. I think the training scenarios at least open your brain to applying the principle.
Yeah.
But there's not outside of scenario-based training or kind of what we do on our channel where we watch body cams and talk about.
Yeah, the more examples, the better.
Yeah. I intentionally don't read the title and I watch it from the beginning without pre-watching.
No context. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm like, hey, if you're this officer, start looking at start latching onto capital T, the truth on what I can prove and work based off that. Right. Yeah. You won't get hindsight in these situations. So like, is this reasonable? Is this unreasonable? And there's some where I just have to tell them like, that's a short stick.
Yeah.
Like that really sucks.
Like, right, exactly.
Sorry, like you pulled a crappy call, but there's a lot of these where they screw themselves over, and that's what we're trying to solve.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And again, with the making sure that the people that you hire and that are on your staff have good judgment call, and they have that.
But I really think a nonprofit, it is, I'm moving towards figuring out how to organize something like this,
Yeah.
but that puts these on
Mm-hmm.
for PDs. So
Yeah.
you can
That
get
would be
good.
fabulous.
There was a really good one where they did. I was lucky. I was in a very big department, so we could afford all the cool stuff. I also now work in an industry where I get trained by literally the most gifted human beings on the planet at emergency response.
That's
This
amazing.
is Delta Force, all this cool stuff. I'm a media guy, so I get to do it. And now I get to take that training to patrol for free, which is kind of rad.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, that's hundreds of thousands, if not potentially millions of dollars worth of training that I just got to get
Mm-hmm.
because of my position.
Yeah.
If you started a private entity that would do similar things for smaller agencies, I think that you would see a huge dramatic increase in like just their IQ for it, you know? And
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah.
oh yeah, like this makes sense. This has got my brain moving
Exactly.
on applying that technique.
Yeah, I love that. Good, because somebody was talking about
Yep.
that, like, oh, you want to in any job really, you want to hire for personality,
Right.
probably more than skill
Yep.
based, because you can train the skills. So,
Yeah.
yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, I think that if they did a real study on personalities and stuff like that, you want the highly empathetic. I can make a nice person dangerous. I cannot make a dangerous person nice,
Mm.
generally speaking. And so, like, it's funny. A lot of people talk about like the criticism of women in law enforcement. Is
Uh-huh.
like, well, they're going to unnecessarily escalate because they're small and more likely a victim or whatever. And I
Oh.
was like, you don't know that.
Hmm.
This lady might be willing to die for you. And
Yeah.
that's technically the expectation, theoretically, right?
Yeah.
But I'm
I
like,
know.
I could make, with the right tools and training, I can make you perfectly sufficient to even subdue someone like myself that's a lot bigger than you are, right? At
Mm-hmm.
the very minimum, be not stupid enough to be like, maybe I don't fight Josh. Maybe I call for backup. Maybe I
Right,
call for whatever,
exactly. Like,
you know?
be
Yeah,
humble enough, I
yeah,
guess, and smart enough
right,
when to know when you need
right.
help and not
Yeah,
have it
yeah.
attack your
I'm
ego.
gonna, or I'm gonna de-escalate as much as I can. And that's, sometimes it
Yeah,
is what it
do
is.
what you can. Yeah.
If I choose to try to haymaker punch Heidi in the face, and Heidi decides to go blast me for it, don't hit cops. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, right?
Sure, sure.
But at the same time, like the everyone's perspective on it is skewed too far in the extremes. Where you
Yeah.
have like I call it the toxic cop people. They're like, women shouldn't be there. We should teach them all to be killers and whatever, which is stupid in my opinion and
Wow.
counterproductive to the oath.
Yes,
And then
very much so.
you have the de-escalation side of the fence that's going to say you should be able to voodoo talk your way out of everything. And I was like, no, there's a
You're-
very real need for danger, right?
there's balance in everything and
Right.
nuance to everything. Yeah.
And so like, I think both camps offer something valuable. I really think, especially when you talk about like mental health intervention, which is going to be law enforcement's problem
Yeah.
until we find a solution. Dude, just running through somebody that's feeling, you know, not to piss off the internet, but like someone who's feeling like they want to control alt delete, just navigating those conversations in a safe environment where I now have to talk to somebody and work through that process of trying to build rapport and all that, and give them a couple of different looks. They do it for football, you know. All training camp is give me looks at a defense, give me looks at what this looks like when I try it in a safe environment where no one's trying to hurt me.
Okay.
So by the time I get to go play a game, I'm good at it because now someone wants to hurt me, is actively trying to, you know, beat me up or whatever.
But you
Same
have
thing
the
with
training.
combat sports.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the training is almost always practical in nature. Slideshows are pretty much useless,
Okay.
like universally
Yeah.
useless.
I wonder how much I could find out about American for police departments training and like how they do that. I don't mean, I'm sure they wouldn't just share that with everybody, but like, is that also a
Right.
problem? Anyway.
That is, I would argue, yeah.
Yeah.
You should be proud of the training you're doing, not embarrassed.
Exactly. Yeah. Fascinating. So really quickly, I need to pee. So I mean, you're welcome to keep talking or take a break or whatever. I'm just gonna be right back.
I'm gonna take a 30-second snack break. You can come back when you'd like.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
We'll be right back, guys.
Be right back. I'm back. I'm back. Chat, please behave. Here, I'll go look. I'm gonna skim the comment section. Let's see. Thaddeus, Dixel, Django's here. My dog. Oh, what are you snacking on? I'm gonna lust here for a second.
Me?
Oh, nice. These are Costco?
Yes. We just
Nice.
did a big Costco trip yesterday. I have to figure out how to open this. There we go.
I think the least I've spent at Costco is like $280.
Right? I've been in the 100 range like once, probably, but it's at least 200 every time. Yeah, exactly.
I get I do I feed, I probably shouldn't, but I do. I feed a lot of outdoor cats. And so Costco's actually got a really good like deal on the feed. But I do that. I do their eggs. I do
we do milk.
Milk.
Diapers,
sure.
wipes.
There.
You know.
Oh, I can imagine.
That's why we got a Costco membership. So
dude, I'm trying to think. I've probably been a member now for like 4 or 5 years now. But it's bad.
Nice.
Once I did it, I was like, this makes sense. Like for some things, there's still some other things that like I'll go buy. We have Kroger here regionally, but
okay.
Kroger, like Walmart or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Good stuff.
But yeah, there are things I don't need 100 of.
Oh yeah. We'll drop by a little store on the way home sometimes. No.
My chat's used to me saying hi to everyone. You didn't say hi to me.
Oh yeah. My chat too.
Also,
I've just been like silently waving to people and being like, thank you. Hi. Oh, by the way, speaking of, acknowledging chat, somebody said to ask you about Ask, Tell, Make. Are you familiar with that?
So
what's that?
Ask, Tell, Make's a principle. Again, we're going back to principles.
Okay.
So generally speaking, I'll give you the scenario, right? So I need Heidi, who is you punched me in the face, right? You're my suspect. I'm gonna put you in handcuffs, right? Like that's gonna happen. I have lawful authority to do it. You're gonna get put in handcuffs.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you, Heidi, did you put your hands behind your back? You're going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be like, for what? Heidi, you're going to jail for assault. You need to put your hands behind your back. I asked you the first time, can you put your hands behind your back?
And you answered my question.
Right. I answered the question. I'm now telling you, it's lawful order. Hey, I need you to put your hands behind your back.
Yeah.
After that, I'm making you put your hands behind your back. Like it is now a physical, I'm no longer requesting or telling, I am now making. The idea behind it is that if I have a lawful reason to do it, now this only applies to a lawful use of force. So if you were just hanging out, hey, ma'am, can I cut in front of you? That's an ask. I can't now tell and make you like cut.
Right. You don't have the authority to do that. Sure.
There's plenty of situations where I'm sure egotistical cops would love to apply it, but generally, I have to have lawful authority for what I'm asking you to do.
Yeah.
But I'm asking you first because that is a good de-escalation technique. Because if the request works, rad. Less paperwork. I don't get hurt. You don't get hurt. It's a good time. I'm now telling you to inform you that you do not have a choice about what's going on. That's why I'm telling you to do it. And rather than getting this back and forth, which is going to do nothing but spool us both up, right? Heidi, you're going to put your hands behind your back. No, the hell I'm not.
Yeah.
Why are you not respecting my authority? We started going back and forth. It turned what would have maybe been me grabbing your arms and making you do it and you just cussing me out while we're doing it, to you getting pissed off enough and also feel comfortable enough that I let you line step, kind of like the kid. I let you line step it all the way to you shoving me because I never made you do it. Now you shove me. Now we're in a fist fight and it's a whole different deal.
Yeah,
so like it's a principle that there is some variation in that, right? You're gonna, if you really think you can verbally get your way through it, I think you owe it to yourself and to that person to try. But it's not a constitutionally protected thing. If technically, I don't have to ask. Heidi just robbed a bank. I watched Heidi do it.
You can just,
her car died. I can tell you nothing. Yeah, you're just gone,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Theoretically, I could, right? But from a especially in the day and age of body cams, I used to literally dictate to my body cam what I was doing.
Mm.
And so I treated
I've
it like a
seen
witness.
cops do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the real common in like DWIs is a great example of this. Guy's hammered, hit a median, car broke down. I'm out there with him.
Yeah.
I start talking to him like he's drunk. We do SFSTs. He's drunk, right? Like I have indicators to believe that he's drunk.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to put this guy in handcuffs. Guy gets in handcuffs. Then he realizes in his drunk stupor, oh, wait, I'm going to jail. Like, why am I going to jail? He starts getting mad, not wanting to get in the car. He's posturing up. He's pulling. He's kicking. I will literally verbally say, I do not want to hurt you, but if you don't get in this patrol car willingly, I'm going to make you do it.
Yeah. And then there you go.
If you know you can't make me, I was like, if you don't go with me just pushing you in, I have to escalate force, which will hurt.
Right.
It will cause you pain. I do not want to hurt you. I just dictate what you're doing.
Yeah.
Same thing as why
you can't really argue with that.
Right. Well, and it's also I have a witness that's not me.
Right.
That's saying like, well, you told him a bunch of times. Like, you know what I mean? You effectively consented to this use of force being applied to you at this point.
Yeah.
I'm stating my lawful authority. You're stating you're not wanting to do it. I told you more than once. Like that was a courtesy at that point. Now, when I'm arm barring you or something weird like that to make you do it, you've done earned it.
Right. Unfortunately, that is priority over whether you want to do it or not. Yeah.
Similarly, and it goes back to muting body cams, and the reason why I personally have issue with it.
Which you should.
it, in my opinion, if you're good at your job, you knew exactly what your authority was the whole time. There are gray areas, right? I don't know if this is some sort of financial malfeasance or fraud, or I got to Google that. Okay. It's okay to say, I believe crime is afoot. You were detained because you have fake dollar bills. I don't know if they're so fake that they like go to counterfeit, or if they're fake in the manner of their use that you're trying to do like theft by deception or something. There's a couple different laws that could apply.
Let me double check.
I'm gonna take a little powwow and figure it out, right?
Yeah.
But while I'm checking, handcuffs back of the patrol car.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no reason to have to mute yourself over that.
I'm gonna go ask my partner. This is what I think it is.
Right.
I'm leveraging lawful authority over this person to detain him, right?
Right.
The idea behind it's obviously for some level of privacy. You decided to be a cop. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, you talked about like maybe a personal call comes in or something.
Right.
Or I mean, I was watching a video, a Reckless Ben video, and like the cop had to use the bathroom. So he's like, I'm going to mute the mic and face the camera away because I need to use the bathroom. And I'm like, totally fair, you know?
Right.
Anyway.
But like in those situations, I would dictate to my body camera, and I also dictated it to the person there. So there was full transparency on why I was there and what I was doing and why I was doing it.
Yeah,
so every time I had to use force, it's a relief to my supervisors, but also like to the public. Is if you did an uncontextualized video of me leg sweeping Heidi under the floor, probably going to get some views, right? And before the body cam comes out, cop assaults young innocent woman, right?
Right.
That's going to get clicks. That's going to get some people pissed off. Everyone's going to say 15 out of 10 police misconduct. But when the body cam gets released, I'm like, hey, Heidi, maybe, don't punch your husband in the face. That's kind of illegal. Don't do that. I'm here because he's saying you punched him. He's saying, I'd do it again. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, whatever it may be.
Bit, right? I won't have to tell him twice that I'm like, well, you're under arrest for domestic assault. You're going to have to go into handcuffs. Did the whole ass tell make? You told me F off. No. I'm going to go put you in the handcuffs. You stomp on my foot. And I was like, ma'am, I do that again and you're going to end up on the floor.
Right.
I don't want to get injured. I don't want to hurt you anymore. But the more you will hurt me doing this. Goes to stomp on my foot again, ends up on the pavement. Like all of that getting dictated when that gets released, it covers you so much more than that decontextualized piece of video.
Absolutely.
But these officers that are muting or don't know, which is what I think is more the case, is they're not. I'm going to tell you once you agree to give me your ID. I'm going to tell you while you're detained after all these things. It's like just tell them then. State your lawful authority then, unless you don't know, and in that case you're a scumbag. But like if you state your lawful authority and you state your case right then and there, all the body cam does is support your argument.
Exactly.
And so I was a big proponent. It was taught to us He's like, dictate everything to your body cam because that thing's either your best friend or your worst enemy. There is no happy medium.
Yeah. But it's important.
Earn the ignorant for 200, Alex. Keith. I call him Dad. He's an old timer. I love that guy.
Nice.
You do earn the I call it acting ignorant, but like the law enforcement equivalent is we're past the ma'am, can you please stop doing that to putting somebody through a window or a wall. It's weird. Like I am not a naturally violent person. Like even in football when I was a kid, I had to be taught to hit people harder.
Yeah.
They're like, you're a big kid. Like, why are you like that kid's half your size, and I was like, I just didn't want to hurt him.
That's why I'm gonna hurt him. Yeah,
literally. They were like, people are going to try to. This is practice right now. I was like, but people will try to hurt you when you actually play against other teams. And I was like, oh, like
why would they
I was
do
young
that?
and stupid.
That's
right.
so
I pro clutched for a second. First kid I ever had to line up against. I like almost put in a hospital because I was terrified this kid was going to hurt me. And that's not a brag. That's just me being a young, stupid kid.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean? And he's thinking, oh, cool, we're playing football. And I was like, I think this kid's going to hurt me.
Like, I am legitimately scared.
You know?
That's awesome.
And so even as a rookie cop, I had to be taught to use more force, which is a better way to do it, in my opinion. But it can be dangerous if you don't address when there's danger and you're not addressing it.
Yeah.
But generally, it's easier, like I said, to make somebody who isn't like hoping to use force to use less than it is to either the other way around. So
yeah. Interesting.
But so does HailHeidi have a logo?
I like seeing how many people get really uncomfortable with it, honestly. But no, I do not.
I thought the first
time
face. I saw it, the first time I saw like the name, I immediately thought HailHeidi was the first thing.
See,
I
that's
thought,
kind of that was where it started,
yeah.
because I love Marvel, or I used to love Marvel, you know, and it was during that time. But yeah, I'm just like, oh, HailHeidi. And then I really did a lot of research into the difference between English hail and German Heil, to be honest.
It's
very different. And we use hail for so many different reasons. And so I'm like, okay, this is okay. But I did do my research before. But it is interesting how many people really have a hard time with it.
Poe found the so that's wild that you found that, because that's an old stream. Yeah, that's for the Sonia Massey shooting.
Oh, wow.
That's wild. I got to see that like in real time, and I remember being mad the whole time, and I was mad like the next week as I watched all the cop channels come out and be like, well, and I was like, no, dog, this is a murder charge. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah.
Anyways,
no, I pulled it up. I have it tabbed. That's very interesting. Thank you for finding that.
Thank. I think this is Poe. I'm pretty sure they changed their names. All of my mods.
Your mods change your name.
Oh, dude,
that would be
trolls. I love them.
Don't give my mods any ideas. Goodness, that is so funny. Let's see. Okay, so my last question, like specifically about American Fork stuff, and like what I could do, or like interesting things that I could look into. So I've had a couple of people ask, like, why don't you interview like an American Fork cop? I'm just wondering, like, what could they even tell me? Would they tell me anything useful?
So, you know, so you'll notice, so before I got sworn again, right? So while I was effectively retired, I talked about whatever I wanted to talk about with my old agency, because they can't hurt me now, right? Right now, there is a social media policy that I have to be very careful about how I associate with my agency. And that's their blanket policy. Yeah. You cannot speak on behalf of us. You cannot use your affiliation with us, like, to get followed. So like, you'll never see images of me in the uniform that I will currently wear for like my volunteer time ever on stuff like that, because that one, the uniform doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the agency. People have literally died wearing that uniform to develop the reputation it has. One, it's also not my thing to sell. if that makes any sense. I actually really find it, my producer feels very differently about it, but
Oh yeah.
like I find it very distasteful to see like officers in uniform promoting something that's for their own personal page, in my opinion.
Sure.
Because I think it's disrespectful to the oath.
Okay.
But
That's fair.
for those agencies, they probably have a policy that says you will not talk about police related stuff without like proper authority to do it. Like I will have to eventually get basically like written consent from the department if like let's say you and I put together a de-escalation organization to teach cops how to de-escalate, right? So you and I raise a bunch of money, we get a bunch of sponsors for it. Cool. If I'm ever going to be seen in a police uniform or with police patches on or anything like that, I have to. Bye, I love you. That's the wife.
Bye, wife.
She says bye, wife. It's just, I would have to get written consent before publishing something like that, or like allow them to see it. And it's because,
I mean, if you're giving kind of like more of an official training or
right,
yeah, that would make sense.
Well, that's any affiliation because I have a First Amendment right? So they can't stop me from what I'm saying, but they can't stop me from associating. Well, right, they can prevent who associates statements for the agency or for someone who represents. So I represent the agency to some degree, right, as a sworn staff member for them, but I cannot make statements for them
on behalf
or on their
of
behalf.
Them. Yeah,
right.
Like this agency, this is what they believe, or this is what they would do, kind of thing.
Right.
I'm understanding.
Thaddeus, I love you. Stolen valor. Sorry, my chats being themselves. But yeah, so if you were to interview one, they would probably try to say no if you requested it.
Right.
And
that's what I was thinking.
You lose the ability to make statements like that specifically about your agency for that reason. There's even within, and I can't pull it up and share it because it's like an intranet protected thing.
Okay.
Like they have a further policy on just warning. It's not even like it's called an SOP or standard operating procedure where they say, be careful about the statements that you make on social media because there are potential legal implications that can. So like I just gave you this whole explanation about de-escalation, right? So let's say I get into a scenario and it's really in the gray. And the argument is, well, Josh, you have public statements about knowing that de-escalation is a principle and you should always apply it. And did you legally need to do anything? And who were they hurting before you intervened? That argument 1000% gets thrown in my face if I get into a use of force next week and end up harming somebody. So I've taken on that liability because I feel comfortable with doing it. But like generally speaking, unless you have like a good, and we're live streaming, like I can't redact any of this once it leaves my mouth online, it exists, right?
Yeah.
And so like I understand the apprehension from law enforcement officers from wanting to get in this space. I've had people ask me about it, like other people in the law enforcement space that want to do it. And I almost warn them all universally not to. I was like, unless you're really comfortable with making public statements, you're going to get asked a weird question from somebody that doesn't understand it's a problematic question, potentially answer it incorrectly. And now you're hung out to dry in your sworn position, especially if you're full-time. Like I'm going to get very few reps. I'm looking at maybe 20 something hours a month of policing that I'm going to ever have to do at the max, right? These guys are doing it 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week. That's a lot of, and especially in you're like a problematic city or a problematic jurisdiction. Like I understand the apprehension against it and why generally the policy is no.
Yeah.
Because like you said, if I say sorry,
right. Even that's a little,
that opens the door, right?
Yeah.
And that's the legal climate we currently live in. You're not allowed to be human if you're a cop.
Yeah.
But
that's rough.
I was given an opportunity to do it beforehand, and then in a reserve capacity, there's technically like a level of separation. Was like, well, he's not a full-time staff member; he's just a volunteer. So
maybe a little.
If I were to go back to if I were to go back to full-time policing,
would you even be able to do this?
Exercise, I don't even. I would need a lot of authority. Like I would probably have to get express written consent. Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, on one hand, you want to be legally safe, but on the other hand, there's this big red flag of like, oh, they
Right.
have a lot to hide, obviously.
Right. Well,
Those are the
and
thoughts going through my head.
I think you allow it takes a very special person, or not a special person, but a special skill set to do the talkie on the internet, right?
Hmm.
But I think the problem with their not developing a game plan for it on the media side of the fence allows people to make the boogeyman, right? Well, if I don't argue against it, right? Like I'm going to accuse Heidi of cheating in our poker game. I won't make a public statement at this time. Well, bitch cheated at the game.
Right,
You know
like,
what I mean? Like
wait.
the accusation stands.
Yeah,
right?
it's there. It's forever.
You didn't offer a counter argument.
Mhm.
Worse, you decided to make a statement. It was like, I do not make public statements on pending investigations. Like, well,
Right. It's like, oh, that
there you
sounds
go.
sketchy.
So the people that were on the fence are now like, well, that's kind of sus. And the people that were like dead set against you have all the proof they need that you're guilty.
Yeah.
And I, as a marketing expert personally, I have an issue with it, but that you're fighting probably centuries worth of tradition, if you want to call it that, on not making public statements.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know that we talked about this before, where it's like some other countries who like trust their police force and trust their government, like they keep things, pretty private and doesn't need to be a public thing, and nobody needs to know, and they'll take care of it. But because we don't trust it, and there's I don't know, there's too much going on.
Weirdly enough, America's the most transparent about law enforcement, and like weirdly enough, because so a great example of this is Canada, right? Why do you not see a lot of Canadian body cams?
Is that not a thing? Not released to the public?
Release them. Nope. They don't have FOIA like promises. Basically, they don't have to do it. They might do it every once in a while, but generally, like dash cams, body cams, their policy is you don't need to see what we're doing, which is sketchy in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
The UK is probably a little bit better. A lot of them just don't have body cams in a lot of these situations, but they also have like policing is weird to them. It's a very tiered system for them.
Okay.
Between like the meter maid all the way up to like armed police. Like there's a lot in between there.
I have to learn more about it.
But they are not very apt to share video unless it makes them look good. They're not going to share anything, right? But the reason why I think a lot of people have this, or they see law enforcement through this lens of American cops are bad, is we're the only ones that actually share the dirty laundry. And that's by default, because if you FOIA something, typically we release it. And it's because you legally kind of have to. Like you could get decertified as a department potentially, because it's a federal violation of law basically not to. FOIA is different depending on how they go about doing it or their policy, or they just heavily redact the hell out of the stuff, right? Or just make the court case take a long time. They don't make it happen. It's just the legal system's slow. But and people just lose interest and never see it. But yeah, the FOIA system for America is relatively unique, and we get a rather and we've been doing it for a long time. Cops, the show Cops, they were showing complete unfiltered cop interactions on TV. If you think about it, I think what is it? Live PD still currently does that in some jurisdictions.
Okay.
There's a lot of states where that is illegal. Like you can't just videotape police interactions for like as the police. Like you can do it as like a journalist, but you can't do it like as a department. And like release it to a show, like because they don't want you monetizing human suffering is why. But
I mean, fair, I guess.
right, which is there. But
yeah.
And also there was some studies that showed that like cops were a little more cavalier if they thought people were going to see it, which I can understand. Than being like you're getting into more fights and more pursuits and more uses of force because there's a camera to capture it. If you don't feel that like an audience is going to see it, like Gideon's a great example of that, where he even admitted, he's like, because I have a chat and because I have an audience, I feel the pressure to make it more entertaining for them. So I do things I normally wouldn't. Reckless Ben's a great example of that.
Oh, yeah. They've talked about how they planned things just for the content, not really for the legal purposes. And yeah, that does bother me. It definitely bothers me.
Right.
But
But
interesting.
yeah, that is why I would be shocked if they agreed to an interview. I'm not saying don't try, but
Right.
and even if they did, you would get was it the Fauci response of I'm going to plead the fifth or whatever it is.
Yeah, I just don't think that we'd
I mean,
get a lot of
right.
in
Well, and you just
information.
wouldn't get a lot of answers, which sucks. And
Right.
that's unless it was coming from the chief himself, which he
Yeah.
doesn't need to spend any time online anyways. But
No, it does not.
yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, because I mean, I'm definitely interested in like how training works, and I don't know what they learn and maybe what can be improved, but I don't know if they can even talk about that. You know?
And it depends, right? Now, I know training standards for like American police officers in general, they tend to be pretty straightforward. Like you can Google what what an academy looks like how many classes you have to take and all that kind of stuff. Like that's
Sure,
searchable
sure.
information. But there is, and this is going to be a hot take for some people, I'm sure. There is it's called OPSEC is the like acronym for it, but it's operational security. There are certain things that we do as police officers that I don't like telling the public, right? And so if I'm trying to catch like a serial killer, there are methodologies that we'll use. They're perfectly legal, right? But like how easier one for people to think about is like, I think somebody's soliciting kids, right? How do I catch that guy doing it? How do I find him?
Oh, I
How do
think we
I,
talked about that. You don't want to
right,
like give away your tactics so that they start to avoid them.
right, right.
Okay.
I don't want to breed better suspects, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, I'm making it easier to be a victim. And so there is some level of operational security that goes into not sharing some information. But and really, this is kind of where I really think like victim advocacy groups are really helpful. Because I would tell, and I'd talk to them about it. So like, let's say if you've been robbed before, right? So HailHeidi, the jugging's the new thing where like you go to a bank and they know because you went to a bank you have money, so they wait for you to leave the bank and then they rob you.
Oh, okay.
So they just hang out at the bank and wait for people to rob later.
Yeah.
Jugging. I don't know why they call it that, but that's what they call it. But if you're a victim of jugging and I'm developing a plan of action to get against that, right? So let's say dropping gummy bears in the parking lot's a tactic we're using to get jugging suspects. That's not what we're using, but let's just say it is.
Okay.
Well, I would want to talk to you as a victim advocate of jugging to say, is gummy bears going to make you uncomfortable in the parking lot, right? Or do you think this is a reasonable thing? I might talk to you about it because I think that's really important. There's a lot of really dark topics where this happens all the time. I'm trying not to make it that way, but
sure.
I think that's where victim advocacy groups can make sense. And being in open communication with them as police officers to develop better tactics for apprehension, but like sharing them and publishing them publicly is very, very dangerous. I argued about that with the game plan for like I don't share alert is one of the more common active shooter response trainings that we take. That's required for the state of Texas now.
Okay.
And then the Kyle Morgan class, someone will drop a link for it, but the active shooter class I took for him, I intentionally did not share a lot of the lesson plan there because I'm like, I don't want to teach you how to be a better school shooter.
That totally makes sense. Yeah, I can definitely see that kind of training being held from the public.
Right,
yeah,
right.
That makes sense.
Well, even
so I wonder like where
can
that
potentially
line would
be. Well, because imagine this. So like you're a control delete happy veteran, right? You came back from a deployment, you're super jacked up. I'm like, hey Heidi, like I need you because we've publicly shared the game plan that I have in my brain because my training taught me.
You are trying to de-escalate me.
Right. And that can be when it comes off as like inorganic, it's very ineffective.
For negligence.
Heidi, tell me your name. Heidi, would you please calm down for me?
Yeah.
Heidi.
Does that just make you seem like a robot? Like you're just going through the motions, maybe.
But also that you know that you feel a tactic being applied to you, you will be much less receptive and it's going to be a lot less effective.
Sure. Okay,
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Now, sheriff used to publicly post arrests until he got federally indicted for his staff killing an inmate through negligence. Interesting. Bloke is
What happened?
obviously from the UK. Somebody from the UK, an ex-sheriff, used to publicly post arrests until he got federally
The
indicted
perp walk. Yeah,
for his
I don't
staff
like perp
killing.
walks.
That's interesting.
There's a so the it's really common. I make fun of Florida
Wow.
sheriffs the most for this. Is that they will
Oh,
arrest?
sorry, U.S. sheriff. Oh, I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
that
Not
wouldn't surprise
UK.
me at all. No,
Okay.
you're fine.
That
No, you're
does make a
fine.
little more sense. Good.
Yeah. So they had a habit of doing this with minors, which I have a big problem with. So I arrest a minor for stealing a car, and when I arrest him, I literally will walk him intentionally in front of cameras in handcuffs as he goes to the juvenile detention center, right? And the problem with kids in general is they tend to identify with whatever position you put them in. So if you tell a kid he's a bad kid, he will be a bad kid. You tell a kid he's a good kid, he will be a good, at least feel the pressure to live up to that expectation, right?
Yeah.
So perp walking minors, I don't like at all from as a policy. But there was people that did it as a policy, which I hate personally. As a Florida sheriff, so I'm looking at you. But there's also the issue of the presumption of innocence, right? So I cut a warrant for Heidi because Heidi, you know, is punching puppies. And I have probable cause to believe that you're punching puppies, and I can publish your face on a billboard that says, hey, Heidi's wanted for punching puppies.
Sounds
Theoretically,
right.
you're innocent until proven guilty. And so am I not defaming you by publishing that if I haven't proven it in a court of law?
Right.
Like there's
definitely
a real
not
gray
nice.
area. Right. It's not nice, right? So I have some issue with that from a constitutionality standpoint. That's a hot take. It was definitely good. I mean, even my chat would probably be split on, you know, how they feel about publishing people with open warrants and stuff like that. But the warrant list that we will get internally for like an agency is almost never public facing unless you're like on the most wanted list. And that could be for a variety of things.
Okay.
I was kind of chuckled at like American Forks most wanted to be like some guy that's got like 15 tickets or something like that.
Yeah.
Where you look at ours and it's like
holding Legos,
murder.
stolen Legos.
Yeah, exactly. Stolen Legos. Go get that guy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that would be very interesting to see that actually. Yeah, because I mean, I don't remember if we talked about this, but yeah, something that has bothered me for a long time now is when, for example, there's like a minor school shooter. They're posted all over the news, and you get to understand their backstory and where they got the gun, and like so much attention that they're probably really craving, and we're giving it to them and showing them, oh, this is a bad kid, and they're like, I'm a bad kid, look at me. Like, I don't know, I have a hard time. I feel like that should be just like not exposed to the public.
So I'm for Uncle Josh, I'm a hot take, but there was in my family they were talking about Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, there's a Bonnie and Clyde museum. And I'm like, oh, I guess we got to have a Hitler one too while we're at it. And they're like, whoa, like, what do you mean? And I was like, that's Bonnie.
Well,
you guys are
the
murderers.
Yeah.
Like mass murderers. Like these guys were serial killers. Like, why are we making a museum for these people?
Yeah.
Like, well, it's a piece of history. I was like, yeah, agreed.
So was Hitler.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what?
And I was like, it's like, you don't make a monument to the guy though. You could put it in a history book.
Exactly.
I have no problem with even museums. That's the point of a museum. That's the whole point.
Right.
Libraries,
history
museums
is important.
Is to preserve history so that we can learn from it and study
and not
it
repeat
and
it.
develop theories. Yeah. Right. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But a monument is a very different ballgame, right? And I'm sure the auditors were like, that's heritage, not hate, or whatever about Bonnie and Clyde. But
that's heritage, not hate.
There is. I know.
Fascinating.
I'm poking the bear, but the romanticizing of the bad guy. You have like the Robin Hood aspect of it, right? Where theoretically, Robin Hood, who is combating the crappy monarch that's being a scumbag and taxing the poor, right? Or overtaxing the poor. It's like, yeah, you could do some of the like what is it? Civil disobedience things that give some of the power back to the people. But like murdering a bunch of guards like Assassin's Creed style is probably not the way to go about doing it. I'm not saying you never as society reach a point where that's the only answer you're really left with. But I think the ask, tell, make policy should really happen also in society.
Yeah, I like that a
Robin
lot.
Hood's up. But like you'll see that a lot in these mass shootings. The example is, well, I want to understand him. I was like, what is there to understand?
Yeah.
The scumbag person doing scumbag things. Like, don't get me wrong. Should there be an academic evaluation of that stuff? Sure.
Right. Yeah.
I have no
What was
problem.
going on psychologically that we can like maybe.
Well, because we're looking at the people who are going to programmatically try to intervene in that need to be better at identifying those markers and trying to address them early.
But like
Because
me,
if you wanna-
Heidi doesn't
Right.
need to know.
I
right?
need to know, right? So that there's some safety considerations on sharing some of that information or promoting a culture of wanting to know, right? Versus focusing on the victims or focusing on trying to make those people whole again, or again heroes. Sometimes you get heroes out of these situations.
Oh, sure.
And staying focused on them. But yeah, I think a lot of people just don't understand it. That makes these things like they've never been victims before. And so if you've never been a victim of a crime like that, like you can't begin to fathom what that's like. I work in the gun industry. And so a lot of people, when you have gun control advocates, some of these people are victims. Like they have lost loved ones to gun violence, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have personally lost people that I know and loved to gun violence. So I can see them from that perspective. I understand your perspective. We're just disagreeing on the solution.
Sorry, my headset just died. Hold on.
Oh, you're
Give
good.
me a second. I am so sorry.
No, you're fine.
He can say whatever he wants.
Oh. That was a super fast battery swap.
Say something.
Dude, if you shot timered that battery change, that's incredible. That was fast.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
that was
I love these. Oh, I mean, I have to quickly replace the battery because it doesn't give me a warning. Everything goes mute all of a sudden. And so
that's
too
hilarious.
many times when I'm like on camera, I'll be like, oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Anyway, but thank you. I appreciate it.
No, that was wicked fast. I was like, wow, that was a battery changing operator here.
I went into the wrong profession. Just kidding. Blank, thank you so much for the subscription. Appreciate it.
Yeah, go subscribe. There's enough of y'all here. I got like 80 people here. Y'all subscribe.
Yeah, well, good. Thanks. I'm so sorry. You were in the middle of a sentence.
I don't remember what I was saying.
Shit, guys, what was he saying? It was about being a victim.
Don't promote bad guys.
Don't promote. I honestly, I think that it would be cool if we focused on victims. Like, oh, these are the people who died in the shooting. Like, let's respect them. Let's honor them. Keep the shooter out. Like, take care of them. Like, they don't need the attention and people, I don't know, like learning about their history. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah. Because I think you foster a subculture of wanting to do that.
Exactly.
And wanting to be that.
I feel like more, especially people like kids whose brains have not developed yet, them seeing this kid on the news getting all of this attention and people talking about them. I don't know. I just feel like we would have less school shooters if it wasn't, I don't know. Yeah. The villains weren't talked about so much. I say villain, but the shooters weren't talked about so much.
They're villains. That's fine. I won't walk that back. They're villains.
They're probably complicated human beings who have some serious issues, but that is no excuse for that kind of thing.
When I was going through my psychological evaluation to go back into policing, which is a good time. That's a fun time if you ever want to know.
That would be really interesting.
But she, really nice lady. She was kind, but she asked me. They asked some of those questions just to kind of see how you like navigate it, to see if they have any red flags.
Okay.
And I said I understand the principle of hurting people. Like that's kind of the running joke in psychology.
Sure.
Only hurt people hurt people. I was like, there's plenty of hurt people that aren't doing that though. I was like, I still think you need to be held accountable for your own actions. I was like, I know people who've been horribly victimized and they don't take it out on anybody.
Yeah. And
I was like, that I respect far more than feeling any amount of sympathy for somebody who is like, oh, well, I was hurt as a kid, so I'm going to make you feel the way that I did. I was like, oh, cool. So
Yeah,
you're
it's like,
just as bad as the
wow.
person that hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. That's not giving
Yeah.
you any kind of justification or
hmm
yeah, that's
There is no good one, in my
mm-mm,
opinion, for
mm-mm,
especially like violent victimization.
mm-hmm.
There's no excuse.
Don't tell him. Sorry, real quickly, Blink is over here like, don't tell him. He's gonna know I support his friends. That's so funny.
Oh
Anyway,
no,
sorry, I had to tell. I had to say
no, you're good.
it.
You're good.
We're about
Rat on him.
transparency over here. So
Exactly. We practice what we preach.
we do.
You're getting to see into one of our bedrooms here, basically, both ours.
Oh, I
You don't get
know.
to see my nest though.
My bed is almost made, so it's
Yeah.
all good.
Cool.
Anyway, let's see. Do you have a little more time? Or how are you doing?
Sure. Yeah. No,
Okay.
I'm good.
Cool.
I'm good.
Because I have a few more questions.
I'm locked in.
Okay.
I'm locked in.
Quickly, because this was very interesting. Somebody mentioned the idea of a black cop or a bad cop blacklist. If you've like heard of that, or if what you think about that.
So the Brady list exists.
And what is
which
that?
is based. So the Brady list, I don't remember how it got its name, but basically, if you have been caught basically lying on an affidavit or something like that, which is a crime into itself, and
Mhm.
that's a whole other argument. But if you've been proven to be dishonest, either in court or on a paper or a report or something,
Mhm.
you can be, via an attorney, placed on the Brady list.
Okay.
You get notified if you've been put on the Brady list. You have an opportunity to appeal it. There is no like repercussion per se of being put on the Brady, although I think there should be. But once you're on there, if you're ever, and every attorney's going to check, if you're ever involved in more law enforcement related things, it calls into question your credibility as a police officer.
Yeah.
It is
Makes
documented
sense.
proof that you are a liar while you're on duty.
Interesting.
So that does exist. I do think that there is not enough teeth to it, in my opinion. One, it has to be documented, which I think they have pretty decent standards for that.
Okay.
And that like you made a statement, that statement eventually proved to be false, and like you did it for some malicious reason. It's one thing to be like, he was wearing a blue shirt and it turned out that he was red. People make mistakes. That's fine. You can missee things or misremember things or whatever, especially in the body cam era. You have so much longer to take in and process information than you ever do when you're in person, right?
Okay.
But if I'm intentionally lying and intentionally trying to do it in a way that's more flattering to me, I think you should be decertifying police officers for that. If you cannot like testify in court because you're on the Brady list and they basically don't trust you to do it, you shouldn't be a police officer if you can't testify in court, in my opinion. So
that makes sense.
a bad cop, bad list, but like it doesn't have the teeth I think a lot of people would want it to have.
Yeah.
And there's not currently like a really fleshed out process on like how you get them on there. Can they get it off? And like, I really think the Brady list should also like, it should just decertify you.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably some criteria for what, because like you lie about like something that would get you in trouble at work. Like I was supposed to be at work, but I wasn't. So I got written up for it. Or, you know what I mean? I called in and actually wasn't sick. Like those are employee things. But if I'm lying about like something that I'm doing as like my job, like I'm doing an investigation, I'm using police powers. If I'm lying about something related to my police powers, that should be documented and that should be decertifying people. Okay. Sure, there'll be a process for it, but it does not happen near enough. Yeah. Because the scumbag cop will finally screw up bad enough that the news cares about it. They'll get fired or allowed to retire and then just move on to another police department because their license is still intact. Gosh. And that I have issue with.
Is there a way to have their license taken away? Like who would be in charge of that?
The licensing board. So the revocation process happens on the licensing board. So every state has just like you would for like a doctor or a lawyer. Okay. Yeah. Peace officer licenses are done by it's TCOL here for us in Texas.
That's the company acronym. Name? Wait.
No, it's an organization. So it acts like a company. Yeah, it's a board. Yeah. So licensing boards, it's kind of similar to like the bar exam.
But we all have different names for them.
But because the state,
I guess it would be Texas, whatever.
Texas Commission on law enforcement, I think is what it is. TCOL. It used to be something else. But basically, the state is allowed to make cops, right? Like they can create law enforcement officers and give people the authority to act on their behalf.
Yeah.
The licensing board is required to maintain their standard for employment. So TCOL gets to decide what the requirements are for that person to be. There's some federal ones, but they're very loose. There's like basement level floor.
Okay.
Like you have to be 21 and like not a felon, basically. So your licensing board will create extra criteria that are specific to the state.
Yeah.
So like you need to take a de-escalation class, you need to take a firearms class, you need to take a driving class, you need to take penal code. There's like a bunch of different classes you have to take to maintain that certification. You also have continuing ed you have to take all the time. But those licensing boards very, very rarely take licenses.
Really?
And I think that should change more.
Yeah. I bet.
But how would they? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they'd have to have some kind of really solid practice and procedure.
Well, you also just need people. And they're lucky enough to barely do regular administrative tasks. Like, hey, I got hired somewhere. You need to give me a PID number. Or, hey, I took this class. You need to verify that I took this class so that I can maintain my license. Those are regular administrative tasks, and they only have so many people, and there's like hundreds of thousands of cops just in Texas alone. And so depending on the size of your state, it depends on like how much like money you have to run it.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to be doing these witch hunts for cops and their license, you know, you need like investigators, you need arbitrators, you need attorneys, you need all that stuff. They do revocation processes. Like it does happen.
It happens,
it's
but
just
not often enough.
Yeah, it's just not enough. They don't have enough people, in my opinion.
Yeah, not even in Texas. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people in Texas. Like
there's a ton of people. Yeah,
yeah.
We probably have one of the most well-staffed licensing boards on the planet.
But it's a big state.
People.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to. I don't know. Look into somebody. I mean, Daniel, I think was saying ours is probably POST. Just call them Post or something.
Post.
Post.
Yeah, Peace Officers Standards and Training. Post is it's more of like a because like we have post certifications, which is like a basic peace officers course that you can take. Colleges can put them on. A lot of departments do their own. Some states, they all go to the same place. Like everyone in the state, whether it doesn't matter who you work for, will go to the exact same academy.
Interesting.
But that post certification is Police Officer Standards and Training certification. Yeah. So that's also still typically pretty basement level standards.
Yeah. But that's
they kind of have to be
different from the licensing like board.
They will be attached to one another, but they were not the same body.
Okay.
So like the licensing board will tell Post what they need to teach. Post will issue it or do it, right? But like the actual licensing board, it's a completely separate entity.
Mm-hmm.
Like TCOL doesn't teach anybody anything.
Yeah.
They just say what you have to teach and maintain a standard for evaluating whether that curriculum's valid or not.
Yeah. Okay, so I wonder what hours of that is. Anyway,
I'm gonna look this up.
Look into that. Are you gonna look it up now?
I'm gonna Google it.
Cool, I like it. Oh, I like it.
Police.
No, Bill's beard. Wait, does Josh knows if Bill's beard tickles or not? What?
Yes, I do. It tickles a lot.
It tickles a lot. Thank you for that question.
Oh, there's just Post.
It's so fun to
Post. Yeah, Post Council.
They don't have a specified one for Utah.
The Utah Department of Commerce is involved in this somehow.
Okay.
They have DOPL, DOPL.
What's that?
Department of I don't know. This is weird. What does DOPL stand for? I love that Utah has like a little bee hive. That's kind of cute.
Oh yeah, it's very, very cute. Yes.
Utah
hive mind, you know what I mean?
Oh, so it's UDOPL. So it's Utah.
DOPL?
So Division of Professional Licensing.
Okay.
So Utah Division, they just cut the U.
Oh,
or it'd be
because UDOPL. No, thank you.
But yeah, the Utah Division of
Of
Professional
professional
Licensing
licensing.
is yells. You go complain to them
Yeah, exactly.
about how crappy standards are.
I wonder, is that just for, I mean, what kind of licensing does that all include? Is that like
That's probably
police
more.
licensing, lawyer, like, is it all of it?
It might be, yeah, because Texas has different ones, like for different people, but every state you have to be. So just like with an attorney, you have to be licensed within the state
Mhm.
to practice law in the state.
Right. Yeah.
And so if you want to practice in multiple states,
Ooh.
you have to be dual certified and licensed to do it.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's the one
So-
in Texas too, the TO
Yeah.
of whatever it is. It's because
Yeah.
this says it's like 60 different categories of licensing
Yeah.
that they handle. Interesting.
X-Bane's like, I never believe him. Hey, technically you were wrong. It wasn't Post. It was someone else.
That's so funny. Very interesting.
Is the Beehive tied to Mormon roots? Does the Beehive have Mormon?
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm trying to remember why.
What a cute mascot.
It's a very cute mascot. It's cute, but at the same time, in my mind, it's like, like the hive mind. Like,
oh, I didn't think about that. That's
so
That's true.
which
That's
is very
sketchy.
interesting, because when you're in a religion like that, this is totally out of nowhere, but like you kind of like pride yourself on the one-mindedness, like that's the
Right.
goal. Of one mind or whatever, and it's actually kind of scary. Anyway, so that's what I think it's connected to, but I don't know.
That's wild. Yeah,
It is.
In a philosophical debate I got about this, there was I specifically referenced the Bible, and I was like, well, no, I was like, the whole idea is that everyone tests the truth. I was like, we are in agreement on what the truth is. I was like, but we should not be in agreement on how you pursue it all the time. I was like, anytime somebody's making a claim that they talk to God or whatever it is, your job is not to say, okay, regardless of who it is that said it, your job is to test it. That's theoretically, you as an individual who have an education, because not that you took someone else's word for it, but you actually studied it yourself, right? You were a diligent little believer. I was like, you should theoretically have equipped yourself with a lens through scripture, right, to decide whether or not that person's being honest with you or not. Or they could potentially because they might earnestly believe what they're telling you, but they're being led astray by something that they don't fully understand because they're not as well studied as you are. Like, technically, that is the way you're supposed to do it. The one mind is a problem,
right?
Because you allow yourselves, right. Any institution that's afraid of fact checking is a problem.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. What about an institution that? What?
He's saying that Dopel is a private security and private investigators, not police.
Oh.
So just Post? That's weird.
Huh.
X-Bane, I'm going to take your word for it. How about that? He all caps me.
The all caps. It's got to mean something.
Yeah.
That's
awesome. Can't Google needs producer. He's being led astray. Hey, but listen to this, though. I didn't get mad about it. I was like, hey, I'm willing to take a meaningful consensus from people that I know are earnestly trying to find the truth. Yeah.
There you go.
I practice what I preach. What were you saying?
Exactly. What was I saying? I don't know.
You were asking me something about a thing.
I'm sure I was. What was it?
Question, one-mindedness, beehives.
Right. When somebody says that LSC beehive symbolizes the industriousness and cooperative spirit of the early settlers. Cooperative spirit is absolutely. But maybe it is just kind of like everybody working together and just being. I mean, I think that the Utah, I never learned it because I didn't go to like early school in Utah, but there's like a song that everybody that I know who grew up in Utah learned. It's like, Utah, people working together. Utah. And there's like a state song kind of thing.
We have the Pledge of Allegiance. Like, we have
everybody
Texas
has it.
Pledge of Allegiance.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. We have a Texas Pledge of Allegiance.
What is it?
I pledge allegiance to the Texas one and indivisible, I think. Oh, now I'm embarrassed if I did that wrong.
Are you even a Texan?
I know. We'll see. Chat will yell at me if I did it wrong.
So, what is the?
But yeah, it's very, very simple. Texas pledge. Let me see if I did it right.
Is it literally just replacing the word into Texas?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's wild.
So Texas, a bit of Texas history. Everyone's forced to take Texas history here in Texas. We were the only country, because we were a country first, that like willingly joined the Union. So theoretically, like because Louisiana Purchase was a purchase, right? You have the 13 colonies was a rebellion. Manifest Destiny on them trying to get all the way to California was, again, they had to go conquer a bunch of people to go do it. But Texas was just like, okay, I can't afford to keep fighting Mexico, so I'm down. And so we won our independence against, and really just because if you really, Texas history is actually fascinating for how all that worked. The war for independence here was wild. And really, we just got lucky. Mexico was like super divided at the time.
Oh, yeah.
If not, we would have gotten like steamrolled. But we won our independence, and we're like, this is expensive because Texas is enormous. And we just didn't have the funds to really compete with Mexico. If they ever got their stuff together, we would have been screwed. And so we're like, yeah, the tax base and commerce we can get, because we just needed settlers for days. To this day, we still need settlers, apparently. But honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas. Oh, there's one under God. There it is.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas.
One state under God,
indivisible.
one and indivisible. Thank you, Bex Payne.
That is so interesting.
I'll have to re-earn my Texas card. But yeah, we just have to say it. So we would say that and the regular Pledge of Allegiance every single day in school.
Yeah. Fascinating.
So that we did get.
Yeah. Okay.
And then if you say the stars at night are big and bright, everyone goes deep in the heart of that's
Texas.
Not really taught in school. Yeah, that's not taught in school.
Okay. Yeah. Have you heard of just like people like seeing the Pledge of Allegiance as like kind of culty? Are you familiar with that?
I think a lot of people, especially so Texas is unique in that like there's a lot of like Texas pride, and so most Texans would identify as Texan before American, which is kind of weird for here. I can see in other places where like it is a culty thing. You got to imagine like even this like the Star Spangled Banner and stuff like that, like holding your hand over your heart during the Olympics or whatever it is, like that can absolutely be seen as culty. Like that feels and has the flavor of a culty mentality. I think a lot of it goes back into buy-in, right? So you'll notice that like veterans almost universally will get pissed off if you don't do it. But they have a lot of skin. They have a lot of skin in the game, right?
Yeah, they sacrificed a lot.
Right, but you can also look at people that like once you buy a home, right? Like you have purchased a home. Well, you purchased a mortgage, but you got a home, right?
Yeah.
Once you have that, how much more like onus do you have? Like you're almost your view changes overnight of like where your tax dollars go, because you're paying now property taxes.
Right.
So now like
where before you wouldn't really care about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Even when you're renting, you're still technically paying property taxes, but you don't get the bill. When you're a homeowner, you get the bill. And so you get to see the breakdown of what's getting spent on the schools and what's getting spent on the water and all that kind of stuff. And so like there's a different level of buy-in that you get in those situations. I totally get people that if you're not getting any state benefit or any country benefit, like, why would I want to pledge of allegiance, right? Like
interesting.
I understand the feeling of feeling alienated by that. And I think some of that is external. We share propaganda about Russia and China all the time. Russia's probably not as bad and just as bad as we think it is, depending on where you're at in that country and like your level of cooperation with that government. If the government likes you, it is probably rad to live there. If the government doesn't like you, it probably sucks. But I mean, is that any different than America?
Interesting.
You know what I mean? So like if you're a benefactor of the system, you are going to be pro-America, if that makes any sense. Or if you at least feel that the system is fair to you, or you've been given a fair shake, sure. But I think a lot of people have been convinced that, and some people it's their lived experience, right? You get wrongfully convicted of a crime and have to sit in prison for 10 years. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, this place sucks.
I mean? I'd be pissed. Yeah,
right.
And so like the lived experience is part of it. We're also a country where it is safe to do that. You don't go to jail for not doing the Pledge of Allegiance, right?
Well,
you can't be. There's the constitutional protections against that, right?
Right.
I also do think that just as a collective bargain, Texas has a ton, California's the same way, a ton of influence on federal politics.
Mm-hmm.
So like the deal's
Right.
always good for us. If something's passing in Congress, it's almost universally good for us. But like from an electoral college standpoint and like the House of Representatives, we got way more. Like what, Rhode Island's got like 2 people. Texas has like 100. It's like crazy. Like we have like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so the movie Civil War, I thought was a funny example of this, that like we partnered with California because we're like, well, we're the ones getting hoed. It's our money. Like it's our votes that are getting ignored. And so we would collectively pair with another huge body to say, hey, if California and Texas decided to secede from the union, that's half of this country's GDP.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But you know what I mean? Like we have that much pull from a tax-based standpoint of states that could make it without federal assistance. Texas more so than a little bit on California, but generally we have the private GDP to make that kind of threat. And Rhode Island does it, and everyone kind of chuckles.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
Oh, that's cute.
Where is even Rhode Island?
Like, you simply exist on our behest, right? Like because we let you. So I think that national pride is going to be different in states that don't get a fair shake on a lot of those collective bargaining agreements, which is the federal government, right? And then on the individual level, if you've been victimized by this body, why would you like it? Conversely, if you feel like it's protected you, you know, you'd imagine, who is it? Really good example of it. Gosh, Lil Wayne was a very prominent rapper. I was real young, grew up in a really crappy neighborhood, right? And when he was young, he got shot at a house party. He was like a teenager. And his very first encounter with law enforcement was when everyone ran over his body to leave because they didn't want to get caught by the cops. The cops scooped him up and saved his life.
Yeah.
He literally
is that oh my gosh, Wiz Khalifa?
No, not him. I don't know. I'm showing
because I recognize that story.
Right. And so like in that neighborhood, I guarantee you people hated cops. And some of it was probably earned. So of course you're gonna feel weird about the Pledge of Allegiance, and of course you're gonna feel weird about everything else.
Tupac?
But to him,
Tupac?
No. Okay. The cops definitely didn't save him. I'll tell you what. But the Lil Wayne.
So it was. Wait, I thought you did say. Wait, did you not say Lil Wayne?
Lil Wayne?
I thought he said Lil Wayne, right?
I don't remember. I'm gonna trust X-Bane on this one.
Because I couldn't think of anybody else other than Lil Wayne. That's so funny.
So, but yeah, his lived experience, that guy stayed with him in the hospital and made sure that he was safe when he didn't have parents or anybody else there for him. And so like, yeah, your lived experience is going to bias you either in a good way or a bad way to be more patriotic. I think I think it is an un-American perspective to assume that you are owed patriotism, like as a country. Like theoretically, the Constitution's like the country should work for the person, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Now there are people that believe in that idea and that concept, and like myself, I'm literally volunteering to be part of the government to help people, right? So I believe and have skin in the game for it, but I believe that institution can, despite its flaws, because I'm definitely a critic on some of those things, but like despite it, there is good work that can be done, and there is something fulfilling to me as a person who can be part of that system. Someone is going to call 911 and I'm going to be the person that shows up.
Right. And just because you're volunteering and working in this doesn't mean that you think that it's a perfect system. You're in there to improve it and to make it better, which is very patriotic.
But that's what I'm saying is like, that's a patriotic perspective on it.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm going to take some guy to jail that feels like he was minding his own business and she was asking for it. So I don't know why he's jacking me up over it. And I'm like, well,
very interesting.
The law would say otherwise. Tell me, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm totally the villain, right? In his story. And that's okay.
Sure. Everyone's a villain or a hero in a freaking everybody's story. I don't know.
You're doing it the right way. If that's the case, you're doing it the right way.
I guess. I guess the one thing is like having kids say it in school is a little bit culty to me. That's probably like,
yeah. And we had a big controversy when I was in school about praying in school.
That would be very interesting. We didn't even have that.
Right, because there was it wasn't like a formal like prayer thing that you could do, but we had like what is it, FCA? which is like the Federation of Christian Athletes and stuff like that. So there were like Bible studies that happened in school as clubs, but there was apparently some schools that were like having moments
Like
of silence and
that was
prayer
a
time
regulation
at school.
thing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
And so they were like, what's state funded? Can you really have like a state sanctioned prayer time?
Hmm.
And so they banned it. Basically, they said staff cannot
Yeah.
lead prayer
Hmm.
outright. You can't do it. There's a famous picture somewhere. It doesn't. The tornado took it from my parents, but it was me and two other kids that said, "Hey, you don't have to pray. We're not trying to pressure anybody. Don't feel weird if you don't do it. If anything, I respect you for not. But we're gonna go to the end zone. We're gonna go pray before the game. It's football. People get hurt. We just want people to be safe.
Sure. And yeah, welcome to
We're
do that.
Christians.
Yeah.
We believe in doing that, right?
Right.
And I remember the parents being super proud of it, but and like the people being angry that we had to resort to that. I was like, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
I didn't need a coach to tell me to do it.
Yeah.
For
And
sure
we're not
didn't
trying
need
to
my
like
school
force everybody else to do that. It's
Right.
very personal
Right.
belief system.
Yeah, I would. You can't forcibly baptize somebody. That's not how that works. Like literally.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not
Ding,
the
ding,
point.
ding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
That's
it's like
interesting.
the I remember when I was a kid, I think I was in middle school when that happened. It was a huge controversy, and there were parents that hated it. But like from a governance standpoint, I think it's an un-American perspective to say, well, the state can mandate that you have to do it. It's like, hell no. State
Yeah.
and mandate should only mean anything on state employee. State citizen, you should better leave us the hell alone, right?
Fair.
If you're not providing me a service, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And let me do what I
Interesting.
want. Now, if you want to be an employee of the state, sure. I have to be in my department, despite being very conservative. I still can't have like a cross that's visible. Even though I'm a Christian, because they said, nope, while you're on duty, you're a deputy. You're not a Christian.
It makes sense.
Your moral actions, cool that your moral actions are done from a moral like worldview, but like,
but that's not what matters in the law.
When you're on duty, when you're on duty, you're enforcing the law, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I respect that.
Yeah,
because I was like, the rule applies to everybody universally, but they're like, just because I might agree with you, or you might align with my bias, right? That is not the way that we're going to approach it from a governance standpoint, which I respect.
We should tell Utah that. Tell American
Tommy Tomatoes, forced baptism is just water floating. I mean, yeah.
Just forced drowning, really.
Yeah, that's wild. That's crazy. Funny.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
CIA does forced baptism. That would be wild.
Oh my
gosh. That'd be a take and a half.
Yeah, it would.
But yeah, it's definitely a it's complicated. I think a lot of people try to oversimplify governance to fit their worldview, and I was like, you don't want that. You don't want a theocracy. You don't even want universal authority on stuff. Because you got to imagine, like the side effects of that are you crush people, or worse, if that person, you can look at the executive branch as an excellent example of this. It's like, I don't ever want the executive branch to have absolute authority. I was like, because you're 4 years away from having a tyrant, and worse, like someone that could really absolutely affect every aspect of your life. It's like it's the whole reason for the separation of powers.
Right.
And you also don't want all of those powers to agree. I'm glad to have the random jerk at the city council meeting that's going to bitch about us not feeding the squirrels.
I think I mean, having councils and multiple people on a like leadership, I don't know, in a leadership position, I think that's the point. So yeah, it is also hard when it's like, sometimes I feel like nobody can decide on anything.
Yeah.
But
and to some degree, that's probably better, because if we can't agree, why are we deciding on it? Or like, why are we trying to leverage our authority
enough that it's like not a clear answer?
Hey, let's let this one be a mulligan and let society figure it out, rather than us getting involved and start making mandates. Because I think that's where it gets dangerous. You start getting into cattle cars and Gestapo once you start saying like, hey, we're going to dictate every aspect of your life. And it's like, no, that's incredibly, I would argue it's un-American.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of people that if it aligns with them, they're good with it. You know, it's like, well, like if I was the dictator, and it's like, thank God you're not.
It's very true. I know.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I had like a couple of other questions that weren't as important to me. But now that we're kind of running out of time, I probably won't jump into another topic. But maybe we can do this again sometime. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just chilling. I have an easy day.
chilling.
I had a breaking story yesterday, so work got very easy for me today. So I had
Hey,
to do
there you
extra work
go.
yesterday, but it made today easier. And then
Nice.
I'm filming with some attorneys in like an hour.
Okay.
I'll be filming. I'm going to spend like
You're gonna be
7 or
here
8 hours
all
on
day.
camera today. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got what we do. We're like 3 or just under 4 hours here.
Mhm.
We started a little late. I'll probably
Mhm.
film with them for like an hour, then stream will probably be another 3 or 4 hours.
Wow. Well,
It's a lot of
cool.
time.
We should let you stretch your legs. And
I thought that was the nice thing about the pee break. She's like, I want a pee break. And I was
You're
like,
like, oh, I get to stand up.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, ping me. I think I genuinely enjoy that we come from such different like life experiences. Really, is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that you guys take like a really earnest approach at like the unknown, or really like the poorly understood or poorly articulated is really what I think it is. Policing, governance, the whole nine. Like most people are probably more ignorant than even you are on it.
Mm-mm.
And like I think you're asking the right but you're asking the right questions, I think. And
thank you.
I don't know, I think it's cool. I like what you guys represent, what you stand for. So I was perfectly happy to jump back on for these.
Thanks.
They're also like healing in some way. I was like, there's good, reasonable, rational people out there.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate this. It's really fascinating to learn more about this, and I have so much more to learn. And so thank you for, I don't know, thanks for giving advice about like city council. I'll let you know how all that goes and just kind of.
You gonna go?
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm going to go. I don't know if I'm gonna like stream it. I don't know if I'm going to actually say something, but I'll definitely get in touch with Daniel and just, I don't know, we'll see if there's anybody else has any concerns. Cool. Yeah, it will be the first time that I get kind of involved really with anything like that. So it should be interesting. Cool. Yeah. So I appreciate your insight into that. Seriously, like that was one of the big reasons why I'm like, I need to talk to Josh again, because I don't know what I'm doing.
That's a messy space too. Like that is. I have seen people do it well and poorly all at the same time.
Right, more than I realized.
Yeah. You could set yourself back decades as a city when you screw that up. To be honest.
Yeah. God. Well, yeah. Appreciate
Josh,
you being here.
You Julian Reyes, you taskmaster, this guy. My chat that loves me sometimes.
Yeah. Thanks to everybody for being here.
Yeah, support Heidi. She's doing cool stuff.
Thanks. Yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate you, only cops. Thanks for talking with me.
Bye to y'all.
Everyone have a good day. What?
I'm done with y'all. Leave me alone.
Bye bye.
I'm not even nice to mine.
Oh god.
I'm off. Oh, that's so funny.
You guys are awesome. Both chats, I really appreciate you guys. You guys are fun.
Only mine.
Only yours is fun.
No, I'm teasing. They're problematic at times, but they're actually relatively well educated.
That's awesome. All right.
It's like the uncle at like Thanksgiving where you're like, you're such a mixed bag. Like I love you, but every once in a while, like you get a little too much liquor, and I'm like, oh no, please no.
I mean, yeah, the variety is what we love, you know.
Right. Yeah, I laughed. Anyway. I have. Trying to think. Are we off?
I am off. We'll see you guys later. Did you think that? Did you think we were done?
No.
Okay. All right. Bye.